Hello, how are we?
Good.
I've been here for 2 hours, haven't seen it yet.
Huh?
I've been here for 2 hours, I haven't seen it.
That's because I've just been working on the slides and stuff like that. Everything's going good in your world?
Yeah, I met with Trina this morning as well on Zoom, so.
Yeah, she mentioned that.
Yeah, so. Yeah. everything's great,
Perfect.
But just want to say thanks again.
Yeah,
See ya.
let's like connect soon,
Yeah, do you have any, I know you sent out a schedule, but anything?
quite a bit, that I
Okay.
would like you to be, obviously for, that are gonna be beneficial,
Yeah,
I promise.
oh, yeah,
Because that's the whole goal, is to make that beneficial for you, so,
yeah,
I
I'm
love it.
willing to do pretty much any of those, so
Yeah,
as long as it matches, but,
and I think, other than the one event, when normally they don't happen like that, we're usually pretty good on attendance and stuff.
yeah. I usually have a pretty good budget to contribute to, so happy to help on those. Food or.
Yeah, and I have a thing that I think you guys might want to be a part of.
Okay.
So let me get, I have this class and then send me a text so it's in my phone,
Okay.
and then I can,
Just say let's connect later.
yeah, and I'll know
Next events.
exactly
Okay,
what it is, so,
perfect.
okay, thanks, love.
Yeah, good to see you.
You too, hon. Okay,
What's listening?
hello. We're all doing good.
Yeah, we're fine, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna let everyone get settled for a hot minute. I'm gonna go use the little girls' room, and then we are going to start. Okay? We're gonna start.
Oh, yeah. I had a license in California and so on and off.
You were following me over to Chandler this last week.
About every. We're making far too much money, but now I'm starting to figure out that he's missing my life. Yeah. 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 Doing some open house. Oh, it was in Desert Summit. How was it? It was good, really good. I ended up with I came on mentioning two areas. Words. Words you use. Right, so that. They're any prepared with that, like this or something, a first thing. Then, like, I already scheduled a lot, 5 day, 6 day challenge. And then that started, so that, was on each other. So what I ended up doing was kind of, it was a good justification for that. I think that West Valley, very cool, so I rented over the hill there. Rats and there on the mines. No, less expensive, let's not call it cheap. But it was nice, I would have done it all over again, every single time I go. It was about 2 or 3 days, is that sound? Yeah. Really good speakers. Oh, there was a ton. Durfee was there one day, panel, some of the K&D stuff, lots, people. So one of the things that's not like, people talk about family and stuff, because people were saying, oh, I lost my West Valley agent. Are you available? Yeah. Some deals from it.
Yeah, I'll probably, I'll definitely out of them for you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What's going on, guys?
Good, are you?
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, you gotta pay for, I always look at expenses versus when, the cause that I get paid.
Yeah, it's going, Kevin. How are you? Good, how are you, man?
So I really. Really, why, was right back. Oh, right, that's it. Well, yeah, so.
How's it going, Courtney?
Good, how are you?
What you, something?
Yeah, I was just an open house guy. So it was, I had every I'm very cool. He told me right away. So
Right on, that's always good.
I don't.
It's been great.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, I'm glad to be here.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
What's up? How's it going?
good, how are you doing?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, thanks again, I watched that video of him just
Oh,
recording
like
my
your,
head.
the back of
Yeah.
your head? I thought I was like, yeah, I don't think that's what he was going for.
Yeah. no,
You know, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Couldn't even hear it, my phone's not
You
good
couldn't?
enough to.
Your head was just blocking
Yeah.
everything.
So it basically just hurt my head.
The 3 hour thing there?
What's that? This is 3 hours.
I mean, it started a little bit late, so it's probably.
Sort of, I'm still doing before.
Maybe you can see this. Like this, the open house one, I missed the first half of the.
I didn't think that it would go to the first one at all, so.
It's,
How's it going, Jody?
it's kind of,
Doing good, how about yourself?
so now I'll catch the second half. Or catch the first.
And I don't know, this might be similar to the other one, but.
I think they are.
I don't know.
I think they are.
I know the
I
last.
did a very.
Yeah. More hit for the script and more.
No.
Oh, it's good.
That whole, well, I was gone. I was in the chat.
Let's go, Kyle.
I really regretted having missed that because that was pretty cool because when they gave away, realtor.com leads,
Yeah.
hot leads.
Yeah.
Were you here for that? Yeah, I wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get anything out of it? Was it? Not yet, no, but you made a bunch of comments?
I think that was that other one,
Yeah, that was through the other window, yeah. Eric, Kelsey. Yeah, well,
at a bank. Cold water bank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a whole system.
I actually got a recruiter from them, like the week before that, tried to get me to switch job.
Yes.
That was the thing. He actually sponsored my ticket and
Yeah.
I had a conversation with him. And he wanted to become.
Yeah,
This guy.
yeah, I didn't understand.
But-
really
But you don't, you buy in, but you're not doing that part, so.
A little thing.
Yeah. So. After they manage that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. And okay, and I apologize for being late. You guys know I'm like almost never late, but I had $1 million buyer consult this morning. So I was doing agent duties alongside you guys. Okay, so anybody who came to the script off, you know, that was like super fun. This is also one of our other fun classes because it's just filled with information that people don't think about when we think about our open houses, right? So there's been a lot of chatter recently about the #1 thing that agents are asking for. And that would be open houses. And why do we think that would be? Anybody have an idea? Why would open houses be the thing that people want to know about?
I know.
You know, I don't want nothing for the peanut gallery over there.
They're free.
They are.
They're 100% free. The only thing you're giving up is your time.
Okay, so it costs time, doesn't have to cost money, you're right. Okay, what else?
Lead generation.
Lead generation. Okay, what else?
You have intentional buyers, people that,
And sellers.
and so.
And sellers, yes, you can have a more intentional conversation with people that could be serious, 100%. Oh, guys, it's blurry. And then, what else? Why else
Yeah.
would open houses be so sought after? Okay, I just gave you the answer, like, give you the answer. Ever changing. And the options are unlimited. Okay, right? So we can do all kinds of things. People do all kinds of things when it comes to open houses, right? We've seen crazy things, we've seen boring things, we've seen all across the board, okay? So today, some of you guys know Miss Jody Melendi. And she is going to be helping us. And if you guys have walked in, you saw that there's a table. And as you guys came into the training room, you saw that there's another table. There's also the back table, which is similar, not the same to what they put on the kitchen counter and stuff like that at State 48 with James and Jody Melendi. Okay, so they've had some great success with specifically being able to turn the business around in one open house, right? What's the whole goal of taking a listing? What's MREA and everything else tell us that we should be able to do?
So it.
I adore the crap out of you,
One
Aiden.
listing, two buyers, one listing.
Thank you. Yes, Bryce. Repeat,
One additional listing and two buyers.
or vice versa, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
because it used to be 2 listings and a buy.
Mhm.
So if we know that, and we know that that is the goal of taking a listing is to duplicate it to 3 other pieces of business, and you could possibly do it in one day or a couple days, like, would it not be worth changing the way that you do your open houses, okay? Now I'm gonna tell you, and we joked about this, everybody online, everybody here, half y'all aren't gonna do this shit. Okay? So that's your prerogative, but I just want you to take into consideration that anything in this class is here because it has a proven method behind it, okay? So, let's go. And we're gonna start. So open what? Have the most lucrative open weekend, multiply your business and take market share, right? Also part of what we're trying to do is establish who we are and to take that market share within whatever business we're trying to do, okay? So this is class number 5. I am excited. And as you guys know, I love me some expectations. So number 1. Oh man, we're gonna click through this whole thing. All right. Participation. I expect you guys to pipe in if you're online, unmute and ask questions. Give your thoughts. If you're doing something that works and we're missing it, pipe in. This is a chance for us to be able to collaborate and just learn, okay? And that also means that we're here to give feedback and do those things as well. So participation is not encouraged, it's expected. Note taking, scribble, snap pictures, do whatever you want. I don't care. The information is meant to be given out, number 1. Number 2, it's going to change next quarter anyways. You know, that's why we keep running these every quarter. Breaks, again, I like to joke that I'm not a heathen. I will never ask you to hold your bladder. Please go take a break. If you miss something or you're leaving and you're like, am I going to miss something? We'll make sure someone can fill you in. Commitment. I'm always going to ask that you guys show up to as many classes as possible. Even if you're like, well, I did it last quarter, pop in. Chances are it probably changed because again, our market is moving and ever changing and it's happening so fast, right? That we're constantly evolving each class every time we do it. Questions? Can I get a new raw? A yay?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Love it. So you know how y'all are like quiet sometimes? Where'd I put it? What if I told you cleaning, I found this? I have not pushed the button, but I will. I found it.
Please don't. So you're saying.
Are you begging me, Kyle, to not do that? Okay, we're gonna have to do.
Okay.
There's no this guy. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Hello, Miss Kelly. Come here for a second. Oh, and she's in red.
I know, I really wore it.
I know I did. So anyone online, and this is being recorded, this is Miss Kelly Rivera
I
now.
know, it's so weird.
I know, I wanna even in my head, but this is Magnus right here. Every time that I yell at you guys to use them, if you're gonna use them, and who supplies all these things that we've been working on, this right here, this one.
It's me, hi.
Okay,
Thank you.
so thank you, Miss Kelly. You
I
brought,
brought a past box of goodies.
I have not seen this box, so we will do a box unveiling. Right? Is that what it's called?
Sure.
Is that what they do with those like little? All right. Yeah, we're just gonna, I'm gonna have to fix this. Okay, so I like to break things up into 3 pieces. So we're gonna talk about prepping, building, and executing, right? We have to prep for our open house, we have to build it, and then we have to execute it. Why? Because it's a freaking event, people. Okay, we are not just showing up to a house and being like, oh, I'm filling time and satisfying my client's needs. It has to be intentional, okay? So being the expert, no matter what or who the open house is for. I like memes. Thank you, Mr. Rock. When someone doesn't sign in at my open house. What is the problem with that? Yeah. We'll give unattended children, a Red Bull and Kool-Aid and a free puppy if they leave them behind, right? Because I've got kids just running around. When you use the bathroom while hosting an open house and the doorknob starts to jingle. Okay. And this one was like, realtors at an open house. This is realtor furniture, it's the floor, right? Who sat on the floor at a listing and open house because there's nothing else, like, hey, we all do it, okay? So there's some fun things in there. All right. I was hoping to make this more interactive, and by so I just realized I'm gonna get carpal tunnel clicking through. Okay, so in our prep, one of the biggest things is making sure that we're the neighborhood expert, right? You guys have heard me talk lots about how we pull stats, understanding what's happening with our particular type of property, as well as what's happening in the neighborhood. I like to call it the hood. Okay, but because neighborhood's really hard to put into marketing stuff. But anyways, know your hood stats, right? What's selling in your neighborhood? What are your days on market? Okay, what kind of price, like, or square footage and bed and bathroom are selling, right? Like, when did the market start to turn where it was like slower and now it's faster, or vice versa? Like, you guys need to, what's your current inventory? What sold last month? What sold this year? Right? Those are all things that our MLS allows us to be able to pull and easily be able to review and become your neighborhood expert, no matter what house that you're opening, listing, or whatever. How many of us post open houses for listings that are not ours? Okay, yep, we all do it, okay, especially if we don't have a listing. In addition to that, how many of you just get flyers printing from Kelly or do them yourself and show up with an MLS sheet? Honest,
What do you mean, just that?
yeah, just that, like I get some flyers and I have like an MLS printout sheet and I have a couple signs and I'm gonna show up to the open house. Good for you guys. We must be training you right. Most people do. They'll just show up with those basic things and you're like sitting there like with your thumb up your rear and you're like, well, what am I gonna do? Do you think that MLS sheet shows you everything there is to know about that house, neighborhood, and no, it doesn't, right? So pull your stats, understand them. If you guys have questions about the best things or how do I, you just happen to have a whole market center and a whole bunch of agents that are willing to help you do that. Okay? Questions about neighborhood stats? Who understands their listings or any of the stuff that they're working, their neighborhood or anything like that, like the back of their head? At that point, okay. So you're awesome. So if they ask you, you know, Mr. King, you know, I don't know, I was thinking about listing my house but I know the listings are just sitting. You're going to be able to speak to that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That's the kind of answer I want to hear. Because honestly, those stats, maybe, I don't know, us tenured veteran agents, what, couple hours night before reviewing, right? Okay, awesome.
But you can use some of the things, I don't know if you use curve view at all, that just briefly give the cover so that you can schedule the appointment.
100%, but that's not the same as going into the MLS and pulling a quick search.
Oh, no.
And like, you know what I mean? Like getting some of those stats, but 100%.
No, you should have the stats,
Yeah,
but I like having that up and available.
I love it.
People like to look at things and go, oh, yeah.
Demographic pools like that are always a beneficial thing. Jody, did you guys do like those marketing packages where you do like the demographics?
Working on that now.
Yeah.
I've been doing like the Thursday, the night before.
Yeah.
Do a whole packet on,
You need to sit closer. Come up here. Will someone get her the black chair?
We have them too.
You guys do? Okay, so Magnus is saying that they can pull stats specific.
So
to
we have a
neighborhood.
thing called Title Pro 24/7, and basically it gives you all these like demographics of the neighborhood. It's similar to what we can put in like a property book as well. for
Love it.
anyone, with
Okay.
options.
I love that. Okay, so Kel's also saying that they can pull. Yeah, just take out my whole office. It's great.
I get to sit, get to stand.
Yes, I usually, I will never sit during trainings.
So now I'm nervous.
I love it. Well, this is Miss Jody Maloney. Okay, does anyone ever pull the stats around what's happening in the market in our MLS or Armless as a whole? Yeah,
I call the Crawford report.
okay, Cromford's great. That's a great one. But how does your neighborhood, right? And how does your house compare to the rest of what's happening in the rest of the valley? Right? Now you're not just neighborhood expert, you are the area expert, right? So understanding that will show you how your particular neighborhood is trending. Agreed? Okay, any questions about that? Cool thing is MLS lets us do all that as well. So we can pull everything and compare it against our neighborhood.
One thing is rolling knowledge too, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I'm not always in the same neighborhood, or
Yeah.
fortunately, because
Yeah.
I'm doing an open house here, and then I'm working for another person's listing over here. and
Yeah.
There, so I can pull that knowledge that I've had, give summaries of what's going on in other areas.
So important. Because like even knowing that, like we can have budding properties or different other things that are happening outside of our neighborhood, right? Like new homes. Who's taking a listing where there's a whole bunch of new homes being built? Yeah. Yeah. What is, I mean, who said it? Who's erased to the bottom? That was you? Freaking fantastic. I probably used it like 5 times now. Like it ends up being erased to the bottom, right? Because what happens with the new home builds is they are, well, first off, we have a new home build shortage, period. New homes being brought into the valley, like it's so like, it's all the way down there, right? So they need to keep their homes moving, right? 'Cause they've already paid for the land, they've already prepaid for all this stuff, it's subdivided, right? They're already committed. So what they'll do is our interest rates are high, they'll be offering incentives to lower, right? Now, what we know as real estate agents, if we're good and we do our job, right, is a lot of the times those incentives get wrapped up into something else. Okay, they want you to use their mortgage person, there's something to compensate for, or like to almost, balance that piece back out so it doesn't feel so in favor of the buyer. But right, then you're playing catch up with what they're doing, right? So knowing that, yeah, make sure the area expert, like then you know how you need to address your sellers and things like this. Okay, this next one, I know that Miss Melendi uses it. I love it. In fact, I think it was Zimmerman from the last office that brought it back up, and I was like, shoot, I haven't done that forever. It is the best piece, and that is options. Other homes in the hood. If yours doesn't fit, okay, right? Remember, y'all heard there's a seat for every ass, not every ass fits in every seat, right? So if we know that, and this home maybe doesn't fit what they need, why would we not have an MLS printout or a 1-page cute little flyer or something like that that shows some of the other homes in the area, right? Because if we're going to show them homes and they're open to it, we vetted and we know they don't have an agent, which means what? What did we just pull in?
You do it directly out the MLS.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
you get the information right there, plug it right in the system.
Oh, that's beautiful too.
Let me email these to you too.
We just have a lot that way.
Yeah, like having your computer actually there, tapped into Wi-Fi or hotspotted and actually pulling it up and setting them up on a quick
That's
search.
just to show them we have it.
Yeah.
Conversation starter.
It's a great conversation starter. You can go and pull all kinds of stuff. Well, what if I want to pull? Okay, cool. Your thing just went down to this. That's cool. You know what I mean? Like you can just use it for so many different things. But a great opportunity to take those buyers and again, show what? We know what the fudge is happening in our neighborhood, right? That's the job. Questions? Has anyone ever used this to their advantage? We just heard Melendez have done it. I have also done that.
King, you've done that? Okay. I've done straight, like, had to leave or get my open house covered so that I could go show them home. Okay, that's happened many, many times. And that was
Friday
really,
night, that was one of the issues that we came across, is that I didn't have a backup Tuesday. So I would schedule right after the open house, go back and clean up the open house.
and sometimes we have to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm always a proponent of having someone there with you. And my recommendation, and I didn't get the slide done, would be, we have a lot of beautiful lender partners. We have Wallach and Folk in the room, and then we have Green Home Loans. Those are two very strong lenders with us right now that participate in all of our stuff, right? I'm not saying, peg them all, like, I mean, okay, that's rude, because whatever leads they get, they should have access to those leads, but you should have a lender at every open house that you're doing. Why do we think that's the case? And I don't want, like, the lender to say. Because she knows all the things, but why would it be beneficial to have a lender at an open? The peanut gallery, I said nothing about the peanut gallery.
Right, the peanut gallery, that's Crystal.
Options. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you the answers then. Number one, what's the majority of the people that clientele we're gonna be dealing with? Buyers. Okay, what is our job with buyers? And we got escrow payment, that's great.
Sell them home.
Okay, yes, they need a home, right? But they need financing a lot of the times. We're meant to know about the products and to understand the process. Our job is not to be a loan officer, correct? So,
You're a problem solver, and if you can't solve it, have someone with you.
yeah, why would you try to put a gap between the communication of a buyer walking in versus having a lender that can help support you? See, the thing is they need us to find leads. They lead gen too, but they rely on us. Most of the vendors, like home inspections, a lot of loan officers, yes, great loan officers will lead gen themselves, but they really are relying on that referral network that they build with us, right? So if we can put them in front of buyers, they get all those buyer leads, right? Because we should be capturing our information, right? We have a million ways to do so. Then it's a win-win for both. In addition, we close that gap of having that conversation around lending that that's not our job. That's not our area of expertise. It's theirs, right? We're not going to ask them to run comps unless you're an agent, but that doesn't count. Sorry, now you're here for me to pick on this is great.
Yeah, fun.
You didn't know that you were gonna do a training with me and be I'm gonna sit and roast you the whole time. Okay, but you get where I'm going. Okay, another cool thing, we can't do raffles and game chances. You know who can? You guys. Okay,
Yeah, right?
yeah,
It's a good one.
yeah. So when we are limited, they can do that. They get that lead information. Who's it gonna go to? Whoever you're doing the open, right? Okay. So we just briefly tapped on how a lender can help and why we should probably have a lender at our opens. Okay, questions? Yeah, no, maybe. Peanut galleries. Okay, next one. Community. Our HOAs. We are a heavy HOA state here. My guess is, and I'm gonna tell you this from experience, that chances are when y'all take a listing, you have not requested your CC&Rs from your seller. How many of you request right away? You're in an HOA, I need your CC&Rs. I have a listing right now. First thing I asked him was, hey, can I get your CC&Rs? Why would I ask for the CC&Rs? Do we know what CC&Rs are, people?
HOAs rules and regulations. Yeah,
Mhm,
covenants, something,
mhm.
restrictions.
So state says we have to do this, city says we have to do this, right? HOA says you have to do this. It's really kind of how it goes, right? It's also a second lien on your property. Okay, so they can foreclose on your house. So do you think it's important to know what your rules and limitations are with that listing? So if a client comes and says, hey, I live in the neighborhood over here, they won't let me have an RV. you know, because it's gonna be above the wall and it'll be visible from the street. Does this one allow that? Cause that's the thing I need. That's my one thing. Or you can tell me that you're sitting there at that listing appoint, or that listing, and you don't know the answer to that. Okay, our CCNRs are material fact people. Request them. Your agent, if you're hosting another open house for someone, ask them. If they don't have them, get them.
We can pull.
We, okay, Kel's saying that she can pull CCNRs. 2, great. We need to know, how many people, oh yes,
Can I just ask feedback on this? Cause I think I have 2 frames of thought on that,
yes, sure.
is knowing it and giving the answer, or getting the information to get back to them.
No, get the information, right? But if they're talking about something so specific like that, you should know the answer. Okay, the other thing is, like, what if they're looking for an Airbnb? How many of us have clients looking for Airbnbs?
Oh, yeah. That's-
I'm pretty sure that Jody actually just closed on one of my clients looking specifically for an Airbnb because he's only gonna be down here so long, right? We have a lot of Airbnb vacation rental lookers. A lot of them are out of state. How many are aware that City of Scottsdale put an ordinance down because they couldn't do what? They couldn't change the CCNRs within the communities because it takes 80% of homeowners to change CCNRs. And the Airbnb was so like overrun because what do we have in Scottsdale alone? Just Scottsdale. Just some of our big ones, Phoenix Open, Barrett Jackson, Arabian Horse Show,
Get the golf tournament,
the Phoenix Open.
Super Bowl, I can go on and on.
That's over in Glendale, but yes, but in Scottsdale, right? Like we have a lot,
Giants.
yeah, we have a lot of stuff happening over there, right? They were tired of it. Because, right, what was being violated, our right to peaceful, you know, or peaceful enjoyment, is that what it is?
Peaceful,
Yeah,
sounds good.
something like that. Let me get that clarification, but there's an actual, like, most CCNRs actually have it written in that you have the right, our Landlord Tenant Act, Tenant Landlord Act also says that we have that right to peaceful enjoyment, right? Which means we don't need people in and out creating havoc and stuff like that all the time. Within reason, that's subjective, okay? But, so should we know that? Should we know if this house qualifies as Airbnb?
Absolutely.
Okay,
In trouble if you don't.
so I'm not disagreeing with your lead to. There's plenty of other stuff to lead to than you not knowing what the.
Yeah, specifically, yes,
Yeah,
I
CCNRs.
can't remember what the question was, but it was in this category. And I didn't know it, and I went, I've always been a person, if I don't know the answer, I'll get back to you.
100%,
And so it actually worked out better in that case, where I'm normally the type of person that has all my
yeah, okay,
boxes
everything, yeah.
checked and
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. And they just caught me off guard with whatever it was, and I ended up calling them that afternoon.
So how hard is it for you to go, you know, I think that there is no regulation with the anything viewed from the fence behind, but let me re-review the CCNRs
Oh, yeah.
and I will get back to you, right? Like you can state something, but they already know that you read them and there's an understanding, right? Okay, yes, buyer's responsibility to verify everything. It's just, if you feel, look and sound and walk like the expert, you might be the expert, right? I should say. Okay, also, not every community HOA is the same, right? Like, so we have some that have like, golf courses and community rec centers and pools and gyms and this and that, right? Don't you think those are really amazing things to be able to speak to with the community? You guys should know that, okay? What does HOAs offer, limitations, things like that? Okay, next, people. So who lives in the hood, right? Kelly just talked about demographics. Huh?
I live in the hood.
We all live in a hood.
The hood.
The hood. I grew up in Maryville, so I almost feel like I can say like I came from the hood. Anyways, people demographics. Who is moving into that neighborhood? What's your medium age, points, financial stuff coming in, right? I love using examples. I have a listing coming up on 36th Street and Deer Valley, just north, okay? Beautiful, like 900, over $1 million, and they're just stunning houses. You know what it doesn't have? Lots of kids, but it's not a retirement community, okay? It's like not empty nesters, but transitioning to empty nesters. Does that make sense? Is my marketing and how I talk to going to be based around this being a great family run environment, you know, for that, right? No. I'm probably going to be very selective about how I social target and talk about the property, right? And so my communication too, when I have an open house, is going to be exactly that, right? It's going to be about who's living in the neighborhood, what they're doing and how they're doing it. Does that make sense? Okay, it feels like research is like a thing. I could be wrong. All right, next, local. What's happening in your neighborhood? Okay, do we have structures going up, right? Like who's ever driven off of Indian School, off of the 101 heading west, or Northern Parkway? Okay, what's all happening over there?
The commercial warehouses. and stuff.
Thank you. You said exactly that because it's very specific. And it's literally just like, you know how our tract homes go up and just pop, pop, pop? It's like just industrial warehouse, pop, 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 pop. Okay, they're just all clustered there in this like thing. Okay, why would that and be important to know?
Well, I would want to know that. I was planning on moving out there.
Mhm. What else does infrastructures like that cause?
Traffic, noise,
Oh, you're going all negative, Kyle. Let's go positive.
jobs.
Jobs. What does jobs bring?
Money.
People who don't need a place to live, that want to play when they're not. they
So
wanna
that
play when
means
they're
that
working.
we're probably gonna expect grocery stores, shopping strips,
Mhm.
restaurants, right? We also can probably expect that new homes will probably go up in the area as well, because we're what, short on new homes, okay? So that area, right? The chip plant, been hot topic of discussion for what, 3 years now? Okay, so what did the chip plant immediately do? Like when it was really settled and they were starting to move people in?
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And what, 6,000 houses are going up because of it, right? Would that change the value and, or is it going to change the value of the homes around the chip plant?
Yes,
Has it already?
yes.
Okay. So what is that also going to force? More additional infrastructures to be built. Okay, which means it's probably going to be a thriving area, right? So understanding what's happening. Are you guys, you know, as a local area, back to demographics, which demographics are going to show you churches and schools and things like that, right? What kind of hotspots are there? Oh, did you know we have this amazing little, you know, coffee spot called Elevate, right? So, okay, well, I've only been there once. Shame on me. Right, like it's so cute. It's this little boutique little coffee shop, like great place to go get, you know, like understanding what's happening in the surrounding areas with your businesses is really big. Okay, questions about that? All right, last one for this one. Oh, finance. It's like it's a thing, okay? How does this home qualify? Hello, you.
Hi.
First off, like as a group, can we please give Miss Nancy, Karen Dominguez a huge round of applause for her first listing with our market center. Way to go, girl. And don't leave. I need a picture. Yep. And she won our, well, she won that. That's
That's
from one
awesome.
home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So exciting. What are you going to clean with it? Should I? You know, you're an adult when I get like, yeah, when you're excited, congratulations. Oh, welcome back, by the way. Thanks. Okay, Financing. Okay. It is always a buyer's responsibility to verify your facts, right? However, I will tell you, my first year I made a blunder. Almost got a client under with the townhome. They were an FHA loan. Guess what didn't qualify? The community. Okay. We also had, we had another one, we couldn't even get the HOA or the FHA, like one-off to get it approved for this unit. Cause the reserve was under 2%, right? What would that do to a property if we couldn't say yes to an FHA, which means VA would be an issue too, right? Okay, so we just lost our government-backed funding buyers. What would happen?
You're shrinking the buyer pool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, FHA accounts for, how many do you think? Like, if you were to guesstimate, like our buyer pool,
I'd have to say 70, maybe.
yeah, right? So if you have a listing and that financing doesn't qualify, then you've got an issue, right? Understanding how financing is gonna affect your listing, right? If I take a listing and I don't have any fascia on the outside, or it's dry rotted, or I've got a couple tiles missing, or I've got a door handle missing, also doesn't qualify for VA or FHA unless the seller is willing to do those repairs, right? So we have to understand that. The other part of financing is what kind of options could that buyer need and what kind of options can the seller provide? Okay, buy downs, seller financing itself, if that's a avenue, and some people are in this office doing a lot of creative financing, right? Is there a program like we just learned about Make-A-Wish, right? And that being a grant program to support, you know, some of that, you know, the struggling buyers out there, right? Up to $30,000 for towards their home, right? Like, am I in a demographic that is a program that's going to be needed? Right? And they can still finance, you know, this house. We have to be a little bit more, think outside the box, right? Understand your finance and what your options are and how it applies to this house. And again, goes back to who's probably the next person we should have in our seat in this list. A lender.
It
Okay,
also falls under the listing agent too. The listing agent, when they're previewing the property before they list it, they should be looking around that property too and saying, this is not.
on the buy side, you mean?
No, on the sell side.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're assuming this is your listing,
Mhm.
but also if it's not, doing that due diligence. I thought you should, 100%.
You're searching for your buyers and you're just coming up on, you know, you have them on the Lucky Drip and the MLS and it's coming up FHA. But when you preview the property, you're looking around, you're looking like, this is not gonna pass FHA. It's gonna get flagged all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And again, buyers have to do their due diligence. We could almost put whatever we want in the MLS, but shame on you if you do. You need to be doing your research. You're taking a listing. You're gonna get asked those questions. You need to be able to speak to them. Yep, 1000%. Thank you, James. I'm loving this participation. All right, so the creme de la creme to this piece is my favorite, and I feel like it's probably one of the most missed pieces of our research. Does anybody feel like they know something I've missed that I bitch about a lot and gripe about? Sorry. That's acceptable, right? They do it on public TV. I can say that, like, right? Okay. All right. I guess you're all in school for a reason. Local traffic. When do schools, churches, and events get out? How many of you probably have an open house that is not during when church gets out or school? How many of you don't even do ones during the week when you probably could and be prime time around, you know, 2, 3 o'clock? Why would that be amazingly important? All your surrounding areas, right?
Yeah.
And they're all flooding back to do something, which means they're gonna see what? They're gonna see us. Okay? So I would encourage you guys always, when you can, to schedule and understand when the events, schools, or different types of things are happening. That way you can capitalize on the traffic coming in and out. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. All right, seller expectation. How many of us feel like we set a really good expectation for our seller and what to prep for when it comes to an open house? Oh, you're laughing, Mr. King.
I thought I did, and
Okay,
it was tough.
yeah,
It was tough. Like, she suddenly decided she just wasn't gonna leave anymore.
yeah. Yeah,
Finding her ass on the couch, and we discussed this. It's very difficult for someone to buy your house if you're sitting.
yeah, 1000%.
Let me buy you a cup of coffee and lunch, you know, but.
Who's walked into a house and had to clean up dog poop? Change filters, lights, clean up a mess, wipe things down. Yeah. Put toilet seats down.
Clean up, scorpions.
Oh, fun. Or their
So, I'm
pet
sorry.
Clean up
scorpions,
scorpions.
or their pets messes or whatever. Okay, well, why?
Lizards.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a thing. First off, I would encourage you guys to have a 2-3 day open always.
Say it again?
A 2 to 3 day open.
Okay.
When you first get a listing, go live Thursday, Friday, and have a big opening weekend. If you don't want to cover all the days, the first day you definitely should. There's plenty of agents hungry to be able to fill that spot. Ask, okay? They need to be gone. Have them take a staycation. Go stay with a friend. You know, just get out. They're making money by leaving. Okay, unless they're upside down. That's a whole different conversation. But make them leave the house. Set the thing. Look, I need to be able to come early and stay late if that's the case. You know what I mean? It's easier. You and I will communicate. You trusted me with your house. I will ensure it's locked up. You know what I mean? Whatever the case is, okay? Get them the heck out of the house. Don't want to see them. I don't want to talk to you until I'm giving you my seller update at the end of the day. Okay? The house needs to be clean, free of personal, private, or valuables. Why? People steal things, people. And clients think that their stuff is very valuable. If it's valuable, get it out. Because the last thing that you want to be worried about is, you know, like that, you know, someone taking your stuff. So don't have it. Let me tell you a story. 2018, my husband and I sold our house and we bought the one that I'm currently in. Okay. And so 18, but how many years ago was that? 6?
6.
Okay. Take away 15. What's that? Maybe 7? 7? Okay. 7 years. Very versed, seasoned at that point. Taking a listing, showing houses, you know, doing that. That's just, it wasn't a thing, but I'm my own seller. I know what to expect. I know what to do. I'm the agent and the seller. Okay. This was like a green belt. Okay. My house is smack dab here, right in the middle of a T, right? Houses all over here. Okay. Here's my street. It was so nerve-wracking to have people in my home that I parked right here. So I could see people coming in and out of my house. I'm a real estate agent. And I had to park right here to ensure that my house was secure and safe. Okay. Why am I telling you the story? Because that's with knowledge. So if we don't understand that those are some of the things, right? Like I decluttered my house, but there were certain things I couldn't put away. Okay, and or I needed out because we didn't have the furniture or whatever the case was, right? I was afraid my stuff was going to get touched, right? So we just need to make sure that they have taken everything that they feel is important to out of their house. So it's just a shell. That house needs to be a shell. It's going to be a shell when they leave it. It needs to be a shell while they're showing. Okay. Does that make sense?
Do you guys know what the number one thing to when that house is?
What is it? Medication. Yeah.
I was gonna, if you didn't mention that, I was gonna mention it. That's huge.
Medication's huge. We took a listing and the gentleman had a card for medicinal. Okay, and he was really sick. He had a full fridge, couldn't even shut the closet door. Okay, he had a fridge of all of his stuff. That stuff is really expensive. Okay, whether you recreational, know someone who medicinally does it, doesn't matter, that stuff is expensive. We couldn't remove the fridge. Okay, the door also didn't shut, but everybody could see it was functional. We had to lock it. We had to find a way to lock the fridge so that his stuff couldn't get taken. Okay? Get a safe.
I had to overcome on the real pointed one, was the same person that didn't want to leave the house. And I brought that up right away, because I knew she had a lot of medication.
Mhm.
And hers was, but it's organized. I know in this cabinet, this is where I keep my morning stuff. This is where I keep, and I said, okay, we can't have that risk. It doesn't matter if they steal your morning or your night, but we can't have it here.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you watching? I said, I cannot take responsibility for someone walking into when I'm not looking. It's, yes, I'm watching. But let's do it this way. And so I had to come up with something. Well, what would I do? Well, I'd organize it. I said, well, let's come up with how to organize this. Let me get you a plastic bin that says morning and a plastic bin that says
Perfect.
evening, and let's separate it out. I'll go get that from Home Depot. I'll be back in the bin.
Yeah.
And it cost me like $4.
It's $4 worth having the medication out and being able to take the listing and not be.
And her, I get what she was saying, because unfortunately, I'm a person that has to take things that,
Get it.
you know, the eyesight's not as great. You know,
Yeah,
eyesight-
out of sight, out of mind too.
Right.
That's a big thing. I get it.
So it was a cool resolve that it was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And she,
So, great job. And, you know, again, the three things we're supposed to do, be the best problem solvers, the best therapists, and the best lawyers, right? So great job being a good problem solver. As, yeah, just take it out, don't have it be a part of the problem. Okay. Apparently. I was talking to you when I was doing this with Jody, and I got two of the same things. Okay, so they need to be updated each day, okay? And they need to understand that the follow-up on a lead will take time. Just because I had someone walk through the door does not mean I would have an instantaneous contract on our table, okay? And so I think we've all had sellers that are like, well, what's the thing? Did you talk to them? Did you follow up? They said they were interested. Where's my thing? Like, right? They're just spiraling because they think that because someone walked through the house that it's a guarantee, and because someone said, I like it, it's a guarantee. It's not. Set the expectation. It takes time to vet. It takes time to qualify. Okay. And I'm constantly working on things. That's why, like, when we do the listing presentation mastery class, one of the last classes is a seller update every week. Okay. Why? They need to understand what it is that you guys are working on. But they don't need to be blowing you up because someone said, hey, kind of, it's still your job to give the feedback and that there could be interest. So just don't let it spiral. Set the expectation. Those things are going to take time, and I'm diligently working each week. You will get my update, you know, unless something immediately happens that, you know, I need to be able to give you. Okay. So expectations, we can't get mad when they don't do what we want them to do. Deal? Okay. All right. We're still in prep phase. So we're going to scrub it up a little bit. So what if I told you that houses sell more when they're clean? Why would you think that would be the case? Right? 50% of agents reported that their cleaner homes sold faster. Why?
People can't see themselves live in it. Big fan.
or they
Is
don't
that-
clean.
It's a reflection of the condition of the home.
Thank you. That is one, and that's the second, right? It's hollow, it's hollow. They need to see it be hollow. If they can't see past all this stuff, right? It's just too much. And to her point, 100%. If we see something dirty, that's why curb appeal is so important, right? First impression. So we go and we find something wrong. What are we going to naturally do? Start to pick apart everything. Okay. Yes, I understand. We've had a couple hoarding seller situations in the office recently. It's challenging. We have moving companies that can help. Okay. There's storage organizing companies that can help. Maybe they need a therapist. Hoarding sometimes comes with that. Don't be their therapist. You have to be their therapist with everything else, right? But there's a reason something's happening and they're attaching themselves to it. Okay. But it's not well, that's a hoarder piece, the cleaning piece. Yeah, just, it's gross. No one wants to touch someone else's thing. Okay? You know, my husband makes us change the toilets every time we move a house,
Every time you what?
move a house.
Really?
Pretty sure porcelain's disinfectable with the glaze. Okay? But he can't,
Toilet?
yes. We move into a house, all the toilets get replaced. I'm not kidding you. Yeah, yeah, but it's, no. You can laugh. He's not even weird about germs, is he? This is just one of the things.
Not even particularly clean. Yeah, no.
He's like a man's like blue
and grit.
collar, like just get your, yeah, like, but this is, it's one of his things.
That's
Like,
right.
One of his pet peeves.
and to be honest with you, like, I don't enjoy cleaning the bathrooms here, wipe down the stuff. It's not my favorite. It's your guys' mess. You're not my mess. You know what I mean? Have the house clean. Yeah, so don't make it. Okay. Dark like my soul. Okay, shit just got dark real fast. Who's taking a listing with horrible lighting? Yeah, okay. White light makes colors and textures stand out, warm dims. Okay, I have two of my own examples of listings that I were a challenge. One of them was a 2.25 million. This wasn't my main challenge. It just was one of them. One of the immediate feedbacks was that the lighting was too dark, okay? So you think, what was this, a couple years ago, 2.5 million, Boulder Heights, right, North Scottsdale. It was old Scottsdale, travertine, the old, like, you know, knotty, alder stained, dark wood, even the fridge was a wood, like, you don't have that on it. Travertine is very, you know, it's very yellowy, right? It's not, in addition, all of his furniture was dark. Okay. In addition to this, the whole back of the house in the living space, kitchen, dining area, living room, everything was not getting sunlight because they had a big observation deck above their patio, and the patio took the whole back end of the house. The whole back of the house was not getting any sunlight, okay? And he had warm lighting. Why? Because he does restaurants and that's his jam. And he was very clear about that. I told him right away when we took the listing that the lighting probably needed to be changed because all of his furniture and all of the finishes in the house were dark. Therefore, we needed to brighten it up. He didn't want to. When I say that I walked 90 people through an open house or a broker open alone without showings, 90 people in a matter of 2 months. Biggest feedback, the lighting. In the 11th hour before we canceled for the last open house, I get a call from the wife and Venmoing, you know, X amount of $500, go get lighting. So what did my husband do on a date night? We changed 56 bulbs out just to know that we were going to walk away from this listing. Okay, he eventually ended up like repainting and stuff after the stuff. It took him 3 other agents past me to sell the house. The point I'm getting to is that that lighting change and bringing what could have been natural light could have been a make or break for that. Okay, it was the biggest feedback that we were getting. When I moved my team back here, we had a listing that was 2-level condos, beautiful like little creek out back and a man-made like lake. You could only get to it if you lived in those surrounding condos, right? It was beautiful, but the lighting, all the flooring was that yellow, like oak. Okay, they had some white, all the kind of that same, what like that Swiss, what is that? Swiss chocolate or whatever that color that rentals always use. It's a very, so just very yellowy. The lighting was warm. The client, same client with the said fridge, okay? They didn't want to change anything, but the lighting was an issue. We kept going, we need to restage and relight the house and relaunch it, okay? It was stigmatized too because we couldn't get the FHA approval because it was under 2%. So it's actually that deal too. I guess I'm relating back to this client a lot. Anyways, once we changed the lighting, I'm not kidding you, it was under contract within 2 weeks.
They never want to change anything.
Yeah. So something as simple as $40, maybe 60, going from warm to light allowed us to change the way that it felt. Why? Because it didn't feel so dark and cave-like. Okay, we weren't masking or muting colors, we were drawing attention to it.
You
Yes,
had
sir.
2 light at the house, right?
Wait, what happened?
No,
Uh-oh.
they said it was too light and bright.
Too bright in here,
Too bright.
too bright.
And some people don't like that, get window coverings.
It's $1.4 million and the whole house is windows. They said it's too bright in here.
What? Oh my gosh.
Well, they had the perfect thing right down the road. All they had to do was
Just-
study the neighborhood.
Right, we could have just swapped.
There you go.
Would have been great,
We got something for you.
right?
Together here.
So
I
when
had
you,
a red light in my, I'm referring back to the same person too all the time. And
sometimes we have those
she
lines.
came back, she had a red light in her bedroom that was very dark. And it was very creepy, like the song Roxanne came to mind, and I'm like, this is not.
Were we
this is
trying to
not
have
good. So I
dragon
immediately
eggs? What
shut
are we
it off.
trying to do with this?
She was being impressive with her smart lighting and turning it on, but nobody else could. So I shut the light off after they left because I thought it was creepy. And I opened up the drapes and let some light into the house or into that room. And she came back to me and yelled at me because I shut off her light. And that's an attribute. She actually said, use the word pride of ownership. That's pride of ownership, that light. And I went, oh, okay, tell me more.
Really, you wanted to know more?
Not really,
You're
but
great
I had no way to answer that question, so I said, tell me more.
Yeah.
I can't go, no.
Oh, that's interesting.
Creepy, and you're 80 years old, could you stop?
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know who she was in past life. All right, who dealt that? When you walk into someone's house and it stinks, but you were raised to be polite. As a real estate agent, how many of you walked into a house and you're with a client, and you walk in and you're just hit and you're just like, ugh. But then the rest of you just like, oh yeah, so let's look. They had a great living room, like grand room. We got to go in there. Oh, okay. Smell, primally. Okay. I'm going to say it. Decomposing has a very specific smell. Okay. And it triggers a response, a fight or flight in our head. Okay. Smells also are attributed to bringing back memories. Am I wrong? Like these are scientific proven things, okay? So we know that smell does what? It triggers something in our brain, okay? So if we know that, what's something we don't want? We don't want a stinky house, right? So 23% of all buyers are detoured from a listing based on smell. Okay, now there are some tricks and hacks and things to do, and sometimes you're limited, but please understand some of the, let's start naming some off. What is offensive to you? I want everybody to give one or two, because there's plenty.
The smell is offensive.
Yeah, what smell?
Animal.
I was
Be
gonna say,
specific, they're
like
different.
cactus is the worst.
Cat piss. Okay,
No, we went into a house and I think they had what, 6 or 7 dogs, James?
Oh, yeah.
I
okay.
couldn't even walk in.
Massive dogs, so no pee, no nothing, but multiple dogs. Okay, so multiple animals, because you can tell.
Oh, that.
Oh, you can tell, yeah. I have a couple of good stores, multiple pets. Okay,
Rot, any kind of rot smell.
okay, so, we'll say, I like to say dirty dish, trash, or laundry.
We went into houses where you could smell someone was going through cancer, but that just always made me sad.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Has anyone, I know you've had to take the specialty stuff, every CE class I've had for my electives, right, my additional ones, have all been the senior living one. Someone said to me, you come in wearing a diaper, you leave wearing a diaper, and I thought that was rude, but it was very true. And I mean that lovingly, okay, because we love our wives and we love our babies, right? But when we, animals included, when we're starting to turn and we've got something that's dying and or polluting our bodies, we naturally emanate smells, okay? So we'll say bodily odors, because that also can apply to teenagers. They stink really bad,
That's,
like so bad.
Oh, those boys' rooms.
No, the girls, I think they're worse.
Really?
Okay,
Oh.
I like story time. I got a fun story. I have a couple. Okay, said daughter, only daughter, loves art. So if you guys know her, you guys know that she's done the face painting and she's very artistic, okay? We did Girl Scouts and it was fall time and they wanted to do like some art, right? So we bought like a bunch of things like broccoli to like stamp like leaves and we bought like a bunch of other like crazy stuff, right? So I told my daughter like, hey, I got you this big thing of broccoli from Costco, like you're not gonna need it all, so don't forget to put it in the fridge when you get back. Okay, I reminded her 2 times, I think she's 12 or 13, so please understand they don't have brains and don't remember anything, especially if we said it. And so about 2 weeks later, she had the first bedroom when you walk into, we call it the Green Mile, it's a very long hallway. And we just kept getting these like whiffs of something that wasn't right. That's all I can describe is wasn't right at first. And so we kind of like kept like looking around, right? Like give it another week because it just kept getting worse. But what was weird about it was we kept thinking it was her room. So we would open the door and we wouldn't smell anything originally or anything like that. And then we would leave. Like, we're like, where the heck is this coming? Like, do we have a dead rat in a like duck or something? Like, what's going on? So finally, about a week later, so now we're like sitting at a month. Okay. And it was so bad. I mean, like when I say that smell can cause a wall, you would first thing going in, you're just like, oh, okay, all the things. So finally, my husband's like, we have got to go in. And she was already stinky. Like the kids, when you're going through the teenage thing, it's just this thing. Okay. It's not their fault, but it is. Just stay over there. I'm gonna go put you in a tent out back until you're like 16. Okay. So we kept thinking like, and mind you, we have 3 boys and 1 girl. So I'm like, is she really that bad? Like, and we were having these long discussions about, do we need to get her a therapist? Or is there some kind of cleanliness issue that we're handling? Like, what's going on, right? But again, almost every time that we walked into a room, like we just couldn't smell anything. It was really odd. So I didn't attribute it to anything other than her. Well, we had gone in and we were destroying her room. I mean, what parents sitting there sniffing their kids' shoes? Because we just were like, something is seriously wrong. And it was making us all like ill. So then I had turned to walk out the door because I was just done. And what did I see by her door? But the Girl Scout bag. And I realized right then and there that it was the broccoli. Now, why did we not smell it when we first came in? Because we opened the door. And so the wind or whatever air coming in did what? Pushed it towards her. So we were given a reprieve.
Did she complain or not say anything before, or just?
We kept, well, please tell me you can smell that. Like, there's no way. I don't smell anything.
Got used to it.
She got used to it, right? Like, it was just.
I was just
horrific.
curious. I didn't know if she said something or.
No, it was us. We were just trying to we were like these massive, these massive detectives, right? Like it was all broccoli. Broccoli is one of the worst things when it goes bad, right? So to your point, just dirty dishes, laundry, and things like that, like it emanates, right? And yes, teenagers stink. I still feel bad for thinking that was her. It was her, but not in the way that we would think. Okay, so we'll say body odors. Okay, what else?
Cover-ups.
Cover up.
Thank
Cover-up.
you. So you're talking about candles and like, yeah.
Yep.
Cover-ups.
What are those one plugins? They're so strong. It's like, oh my God.
It's like
Bath
Is
and
it the
Body
Febreze
Works is
one?
pretty good.
air fresheners in it.
The
Yeah.
Febreze, yeah.
Yeah,
All of it, air fresheners, candles, and most of the time, for some reason, vanilla is my thing. My wife loves vanilla. I hate vanilla, the smell of it.
okay. What else?
They're just very strong.
Yeah.
Mothball. Ooh, there's not. Yeah, they're not, especially if you're, okay.
I don't know if we were talking about the. There, I see it on
Mothballs, okay.
recording,
Huh?
the Sun City type house smell that.
Yeah.
That overwhelming mold thing, but I've been told that it's coming out of the sinks
when the sinks have been running a long time.
Like musty or mildewy?
Yeah.
But it's like it's a certain smell in that area.
Wait, is it really the sinks or is it really just we're dealing with? And I'm trying to be as respectful as possible because I don't want to feel like I'm being morbid about the generation that's transitioning out, but is it that?
Well, for what it's worth, Michael King's opinion. That person, the areas that I'm talking about, are they're the slower community. They don't go out as much, shuttered. And
That's what I'm saying, that
Well,
between all the
I
stuff.
think it's all of that, and then there's passing with the person, and in many cases, it's one of two things.
Yeah,
And then that house will sit and no one does anything to it.
Yeah.
So it'll sit for however long. The worst ones are the longer it sit, I've noticed. And then I just recently was told that if you're running water down the sink more often, you're not getting that off gas out of the sinks from drying out the pipes.
yeah. Hi,
Yeah,
yeah, what else you got? You've been doing it a long
I
time.
don't know what we're talking about.
Offensive smells.
Offensive
And how-
smell. Smells, too much perfume.
Okay, perfume,
Okay,
In a
I'm
house.
assuming you're talking about.
I'm talking about in a house, yeah. What it
Smoke.
is, smoke, okay, and that goes for weed smell too. Although nicotine is a smaller molecule than, yeah, so it beds, deeper than marijuana. Yeah, I mean, now we're not talking about meth smoking and stuff like that, that's a whole different.
Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say
We're
about smoke?
remediating at that point.
Nicotine? Yeah, concrete, it's so.
Yeah.
Molecules so small that even if you take a carpet out, it can be in the concrete also. Oh, wow.
You can get it in concrete?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to give
Like, if
you.
you ever had to remediate a smoker's house, it can be expensive. And there's no guarantee.
Yeah. So we had a listing in Sun City.
That's not to sell that to smoker.
Yeah.
Don't try to hide that.
So we had a listing in Sun City West, okay? And the previous owners were smokers. Now, when you came in, all you could smell was pine and cat, like cat piss. Urine.
I smoke really well.
Yeah, they seem to like almost marry each other. So anyways, you know, I told her, I said, I'm not trying to be rude. I said, but it feels like we've got a couple layers here and I'm just trying to determine because it's very strong. Like I smell pine sol, like pine sol. You know what that smell is like? That's one of my memory things, by the way, reminds me of chapter. And then I knew they had cats too, but I'm a cat person. I have cats, but you could smell cat. Yeah. So, but I was like, there's just something else. And she goes, well, I wonder if it's the nicotine walls. And I said, oh, like you guys don't smoke. She goes, no, the previous owner smoked. And I said, okay. She goes, let me show you. What? So we went to the bathrooms. And every time that they take a shower or bath, that steam was pulling the nicotine out and it was just seeping
Burning down.
out of the walls.
I never thought about that, but that makes sense. I never.
They didn't encapsulate it at all. They didn't primer or do anything or encapsulate the nicotine in it, so it couldn't, so they were just layering paint, right? So, like, that's a big issue that we all know cigarette smokers, right? Like, it smells.
Did you get that possible?
Hmm?
Did you get it?
Well, to a certain generation, it just smells like your parents.
Yeah. You're right, I'm not disagreeing with you, yeah. So smoke's a huge one, right? And that can cause a lot of other stuff and whatnot. So, okay, anyone online? You're all very quiet. Okay. Any other smells that we feel is,
I think Michael kind of touched on it, like mold, musty, mildewy smells.
if you don't think that mildew and mold doesn't have a smell, it does. I don't know if it's a smell as much as it's almost like a thing. So mildew, mold. What else? There's another big one.
New carpet smell is an issue also.
New?
New carpet. New carpet. With new carpet in there.
Nobody hates it.
Oh, the adhesive, yeah, but that will dissipate. And-
Right.
Yeah, and I think most people, if you're like, well, it's new carpet, it's gonna go away, like, it's good. What else would embed itself into
Well, like,
walls?
The dairy smell of Queen Creek.
That's not just crazy.
Okay.
Curry, chili. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Cooking. I mean, we've had people, I don't know, someone else was telling me that they had a listing and someone wanted to put a like pot of chili on. And during the open house, they wanted it to stew all day. No, no, the answer is no.
Popcorn.
That's a great.
Especially for
Cookies
coffee.
Yeah.
would be fine, right?
Yeah, cookies and popcorn, those are great things that's an inviting smell, right? But if we have any of these, what is it gonna do?
Fireplaces. Wood burning fire.
Okay, but yeah, that is true. So fireplaces. Okay. Now, some of these are harder than others to remediate. Okay, I want to recognize that. Yeah,
Cats.
I would say this one, this one, this one. And sometimes this one, depending on like curry and stuff like that.
Yes, great, lots of problems.
We're talking about open houses. So, does anyone know the charcoal rule? You should. Yeah, it has to be raw charcoal, it can't be treated with anything.
Not naturally.
Yeah. So let's say,
Yeah.
so like,
Bringing that into house.
Yeah.
That free light.
So,
and I think it needs to sit for a couple days, doesn't it? It's like 1 to 2 days it has to sit. So let's say this is a bag of charcoal we've got at mine, right? What is it, King's?
Kingsford.
Okay, you just slice it this way and leave it back up, okay, open it up. And the charcoal, it absorbs, right? It will help eliminate some. It does not take it away. It just will take some of the intensity out, okay? Cat pee, or dog pee, carpet and repainting and a good deep clean.
questions on those?
It's in the.
I said carpet.
Yeah.
Like I replace carpet. You're not shampooing, you're not getting pit, especially cat pee and dog pee, urine in general,
Yeah.
like even kids.
Even then, you should put some
Oh, we should put kids.
PCH on the concrete. Right. Yeah,
Yeah, you should kill some.
yeah, if you want to kill the concrete, right?
Yeah. Okay,
Kind of like if you were prepping a sidewalk to paint it, you let it down. Same kind of process.
Water seal works too.
does it?
Thompson's water seal.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know that from experience.
Works well like.
I,
The
the
covered
house
concrete.
before last that I bought. they-
Oh, the Tara one?
only The house of the pit. That dog peed on
Everything, there was like baseboards, walls, like it was
everything.
skirted.
So we ripped all the carpet out, all the pad out, all the tack strips, because even most of them salvage.
Yeah,
I bleached the crap out of the concrete
Oh, I see.
twice.
yeah,
And then I actually used Thompson's concrete water seal to seal the concrete.
yeah.
Because concrete is porous.
Right.
And it will hold back up and down. So simply replacing carpet is.
It's not sufficient, yeah. So if you guys all got that, she used Thompson's water seal to seal the concrete.
THC.
And I know that we're kind of going off on a thing with the smells and
And
these
it's
are
incredible.
things that you can't get always rectified before an open house. Okay, I understand.
And I don't know.
But multiple pets, this is a big thing because they're oils and their hair and stuff like that, it embeds itself, right? Like same time that is helping her buy that Tara house, we were buying our house at the same time. And where she had dog pee everywhere, we didn't have any carpet, but what I did have was, they had a Saint Bernard. Hey, those are really big dogs. And I forgot what the other two were because they couldn't get past the Saint Bernard. Remember that? It was all matted. Like it was so like when you walked into the house, you could smell multiple pet. So when we moved in, we had to replace all the flooring, we had to re-drywall, replace all the baseboards and everything just to get the pet smell out of the house. Okay, so sometimes this stuff, dirty dishes, trash and laundry, pretty easy to fix, right? I would recommend for any of these things, if you can't rectify it, it's not your listing or whatever, try the bag of charcoal and some cleaning products that disinfect, like Odoban's a great one. What?
So on the charcoal, because I did know that hack, but I don't know how much.
A lot.
So is it like, yeah, okay, so is it 1 bag per room, 3 bags
Yeah,
per room?
we'll go back.
A bag per
Bag
room.
per room?
And spread it out, cut it up.
And charcoal's pretty cheap, correct?
You
Like,
gotta break
especially-
it out.
Who grills?
So if you would like smaller bags.
Yeah, just a regular cake with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just break them up and put them
What's cheap
in
anymore?
a bucket. or something.
What's cheap anymore? Go fig, yeah.
You
Okay,
also get
so
those,
cover smells can be easily fixed, right? We just don't have them. Smoke, mildew, well, that's, so we've got some things that need to be rectified. So we can try this. Another thing that helps a lot, and we've done that, my friend, the dog poop video you guys have seen with me picking up all those
I've
dog
seen that.
poops, that $1 million listing. The other thing we had to do was we had to change out 15 different filters.
Yeah.
So it was a 3,000 square foot house. Why? Because there was only carpet in the bedrooms and the dogs were not allowed. But when I walked into the house, the first thing and I have pets, I need you to understand that. Like everything I do in my life would tell me I shouldn't smell. Okay, or wouldn't be like zoned in. But we walked in and I looked at my friend Sally and I said, they got medium dogs in multiples. And she goes, what? And I'm like, oh, this is like medium dog smell. Okay, big dogs, large dogs, they have a smell too, right? And she's like, well, they had corgis, they had 3. They'd only had the house, it was brand new for 8 months. The dogs were not allowed in the bedrooms, they didn't smell at all. But the remainder of the house did, the living space, and there was no carpet, it was all hard surfaces. Okay, it was clean. There was like, why would we be smelling heavy dog when the house is clean and stuff like that?
All year.
Uh-huh.
No filters.
So we had to change out those 14 filters, yes, taking our heels off and going up a 8-foot ladder. Why? Because it all gets trapped in there, right? So air filters, opening the windows if it's nice outside, or airing the house out hours prior to, doing the listing if you know that's an issue. The charcoal thing, okay?
On the other side of that, I've had home warranty companies deny claims because the filters weren't going to change.
And it will destroy your AC, so,
Well, that's what.
Yeah. exactly.
Sorry, what was the home warranty part?
I've had home warranty companies deny claims on an AC because the filters were not properly changed out.
Yeah, they should be changed out every month, sometimes bi-monthly, during monsoon season specifically. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, very minimal for it.
Yeah. So with that said, right, like if we know that this is done, I love popcorn and cookies. Not everybody wants it, so we'll allow us to bake cookies. I'm not saying you need to become a baker to go do an open house. Popcorn is easy to come by and you can just pop it and throw it away or lunch on it or whatever. Who cares? Like throw it in a bucket for people that eat. I think we're past people COVID not touching things all the time. Okay, but do understand that this is a big one. Okay. And it will devalue your home. It will. I put low offers in all the time on homes that have pet smells and things like that. And it'll stop your buyer pool. It'll stop people from putting in offers, okay? So we want to ensure that we are very aware of this one because it is one of the top 5. We talked about hoarders, right? So better not throw anything away. It might come in handy. Says no one ever, okay? I'm not going to comment on that one because I know it's not you. So this is an issue. Decluttering, making sure that there's walkways again, because what are we going to do if it's not open? We can't see ourselves in the hollow box. Okay, we can't envision. The second thing is we're going to start picking everything else apart. Okay, the condition in which we live in a home is probably a good
It's a pretty good
reason
indicator
of
we take
how
care
we're
of it.
going to take care of the home.
It really is. I've always said that, well, a lot of times before I take a listing, I want to take a look in their car,
Yeah, how you live in your car is a big thing too, yeah.
like, because that's an indication of your house.
Mhm.
How you take care of that's an indication I take care of your house.
So I
Crazy. I'm almost to the point where I won't hire anybody until I look at their car.
like that. So I'm pretty judgy. There's like 3 things that I have found determine, and this is from 10 years of property management, that I have found are an indicator of someone who does not keep good house. Baseboards, window sills, and around the sinks. Okay, those 3 things. Like, I don't know, everybody's different, but I am pretty judgy. So hoarding homes sell, oh, that should say for 33% less.
Sell for 33%.
Yeah, there should be a less after
I'll
that.
take them all day.
Huh?
I'll take them all day, 33%.
Yes, right? But do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna affect your value of your home.
It's not only that, like, if that's one portion of it, even if you price the house correctly for its condition, it's still not gonna sell because people can't see the house.
They can't see the house. They're gonna devalue it. Yeah,
Not
or
even
not
the
sell,
value,
yeah.
just not gonna.
they're not gonna wanna see it, yeah.
You gotta be able to see
I
the
would-
floors and the walls.
I wish Mark, yeah, I wish Mark was here because he's got a listing he's still struggling through that he just cannot get the seller to declutter, like not hoard, and they can't get photos.
So I fired a lister yesterday.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that yours was denying
Couldn't
showings.
get clean.
Oh, that too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Yeah,
because
but I
of
didn't show you
the,
because it wasn't clean.
because of the valuable usage of whatever. Okay, bougie queen, okay, home staging on a budget, do you see that, like little, you know,
Yeah, there's a
foam
plan-
plates
random
and
plan
stuff.
somewhere.
okay? Staged homes sell 88% faster and for more money. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to buy a stager, okay? How many of you have a wife? Or know a friend?
I have a
That is-
husband.
or a husband, there's them too, right? That love to rearrange the houses, constantly redecorating, and doing that shit.
I have one.
Point,
There I am.
Because I'm all that, over that, too.
I have
Okay.
to see it.
yeah.
So
So,
look at the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
I gotta move it.
yeah, well, my husband,
Then I do it.
Did you hear that, Jody?
even recently, like, my husband's like, you're gonna move the office around again. I'm like, well, we got this
I just
part,
want to point out what he
and
said.
now it's changed, yeah, so you gotta,
He knows where the door is if he wants to go. It's okay.
so the point is declutter, use the space appropriately, and a lot of times it's just moving the client's furniture around a little bit.
Or eliminating a lot.
Or eliminating a lot of it. Staging is also not staging, but
Well, staging
getting stuff
does-
out.
That's all of it, everything,
Yeah.
that's all staging,
Yeah,
getting the sense right, getting the clutter
Yeah.
down, everything is, that's all.
Yeah.
staging.
I would totally agree with you.
So what do you suggest with the house is vacant?
Virtual staging, if you want.
That doesn't do you any good, I mean, they get you the showing, right?
That's all we need. We need
Yeah.
the showing. They can envision where they're gonna put their stuff.
I think it's okay
And
if
if
it's
it-
vacant, but if it's like painted terribly and like things are really
Yeah, then
ugly on
it's
the walls,
extra.
you're done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're not in a market that we
The
can sell
14
those
different
anymore. so
colors
we
on
have
the
to.
walls.
Yeah, it's blue and orange.
Yeah.
It's Really,
Paprika,
Ew.
yeah.
Wait, isn't that like the
Well, I got a
Gators?
few.
The Florida Gators, aren't they like a blue and an orange? Ugh.
We did the borrow in Westbrook Village, right? Borrow. And then, so you'll know what I'm talking about. It was conceptually, it was vacant, and conceptually, you had to walk most people through a story of the house of saying, you know, these are different things that other people have said. Oh, a neighbor walked by and this is the way that they arranged their furniture. And then the conversation starts. Otherwise, most people were like, so what room am I standing in? And I'm glad that you're here, that you can
I love
validate,
that. Okay.
validate what I'm saying, because it was a fantastic house, but there was just this area that kind of, the kitchen shrunk down and then it opened up, but there was no real spot, but there was a light there. And we were like, why is that light there?
I have 2 of those in my house.
Yeah.
Where they don't make sense. And I don't know what to do with them. And so I know what you're saying, like, it's like, unless I staged it and had furniture, if there was no furniture in there, I'd be like, what the heck
is
am I
this?
doing? This is so
What am I
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're both by each other too, so like, yeah, so I get what you're saying.
I literally, because that one was on market so long, it was not my listing. But I had actually talked to my wife a little bit. I said, what if we just bought some blow up furniture, like blow up couch, and we put some nice cover over the top of it, so I could give somebody an image of this house. We
Yeah.
could blow it up and I'll put it back in my.
But
truck.
if you have a room like that, there's so many photographers that can just do like a virtual staging of that room.
Add furniture.
And then you can literally just put on a little poster
But
board,
as
slap
a
it.
house person, not a listing person.
Huh?
At that point in time, I had no vested, yeah, I mean, I'm.
Oh, you
throwing-
weren't vested in it. Yeah, no, I get that, but that would be my recommendation. I mean, we've seen that like just on a little stand. Get some poster board from the thing, just get it printed out, slap it up there, that visual thing, and it's just sitting in the room so that they can see. We do a lot of that too with like vacant or empty landscaping,
Yeah,
especially when there's like a busy street
well,
behind.
you can get, Lazy Boy will come into a house and do a CAD drawing
Uh-huh,
of what the furniture arrangement should look like.
Yep.
For
Yep.
Basically free.
yeah, there's a ton
You
of,
do that pretty cheap yourself, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
you can have
I don't.
furniture companies come out and do a design
Yeah.
for you.
And the.
Same thing, we do that with backyards all the time. I can't tell you how many times I go to a house that's 20 years old and still got the builder dirt backyard.
Oh, how funny.
Right, and so we get a landscaper to draw us a CAD and we just kind of show what that might look like.
Yeah, and yeah, just a rendition. And like I said, a lot of the photographers are also offering virtual staging as well. So take advantage of it.
You know, rent a center, if it's a high-end property and it's empty, you know, a big high-end property, say 4,000, 5,000 square feet, they look like dungeons when they're empty, so if it's empty, you just go to rent a center and get some furniture for.
Yeah.
That, you know,
Yeah.
it's worth it. Based on your ability to sell.
Rent a centers.
I'm sure it's a.
I haven't seen one in forever.
That costs a
You can rent it by the week, right? So like a couch, maybe $20 a week.
That's not the problem with that house. It's the blue and orange.
Yeah, yeah, it's the blue and orange, no, in colors.
Red.
I took the curtains down.
That one's hard. I
The
mean,
blue and the orange aren't even a good blue orange. It's like the worst blue in the
See what I'm
world.
saying? Like I wouldn't do that on a low end.
I have a few.
I know, but you don't have any offers either.
well, you know, that's how I'd advertise it. Look at this stunning blue and orange room. Just get James on a crazy couch in there or something.
If you're talking specifically about.
There's no furniture.
Yeah.
4,000 square feet and no.
So it'd have to be realistic before you do all that, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it outside of that. But yeah, if it's your listing, it's worth doing that.
Then talk with your seller, I mean, maybe get a budget for that.
And the blue and orange aren't in the same room, just.
Yes, they are.
Different room.
No, they're not.
Similar.
They are.
I'll show you.
It's still offensive color,
It is
yeah.
expensive.
Honestly, we're back in a market, guys, that our houses have to
Have to be on point.
They
Yeah.
have to be on point. We're just not, you
And
know,
this is a sought after model in Anthem, James. It's the colors.
and the price.
Paint it.
Got a paintbrush?
No, the price is okay. It's colors.
What's the
Colors are
feedback?
colors. Dated. Why is it dated? Those colors.
I got a view,
Uh-huh.
pool, jacuzzi.
That's what you're writing on. It's not gonna
It
get
is
it
what
done.
I'm writing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is.
Another view.
Absolutely. What are the
No.
many things you can do to a house? You can knock down walls, you can paint it.
It has a
You
view,
can
but it's
put it-
not like, it's not like the
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
view. It's
You
got a
can't-
view.
You can't pick it up and.
Oh, James.
That's every piece of real estate's unique because it sits on a unique piece of property.
Right?
All right, I get a paintbrush.
Well, you have a unicorn. Yeah, I would take the horn off and, you know, plug up the rainbow shooting out of its ass. Okay. Back to, we're gonna go through this real quick. We'll take a 10-15 minute break, Kay, and then we'll come back and finish up. So now we need to build some things out, okay, in order to be able to execute. So building an event to remember, being the agent that everyone wants, okay? Why? Because you're on display, guys.
How much time do you get to make a first impression?
How much time?
Not much.
How much time do you get to make a first?
10
seconds. 10 seconds, yeah.
What was your first impression?
Now it's.
Wasn't good.
Wait, was it?
It's 7 seconds, and they've done new studies on the people that follow social media more, and the trend is that number's going down.
Yeah,
to
short,
7.
yeah, short.
Yeah, it's going
Yeah.
to 7 now.
Oh, that's funny.
It's scary.
Okay,
Crazy.
Yeah.
But the
so,
point of that is that the same applies to the house,
Oh, absolutely.
right? So you that first, the curb to the
Yep.
front door, what do we see?
yep, what there will dictate.
Because
how
that's gonna
we
make the
park.
whole impression of the house right there. You never get into the backyard, what I'm saying.
We just got,
When you open the.
No, no, no.
door,
You know what I'm saying?
You see the.
I get it.
You see the pool, the view.
I can't
But you gotta
even,
look at the rest of the house first.
But
That's
we
where
just
you're-
had-
they're not coming in the back door.
No, they're not.
They're not seeing that first. So if you wanna make that impression, you know, hey, landscaping, you know, that first impression. The order of operation is kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom, right? So those are the three things in the house that have to make that. But I get your view thing, and I've bought many houses in my life because of where it's at,
oh,
less about the house.
Yeah.
Right? But it is important, it's important for most people to have that first impression. Like, I just want people to go, wow, when they walk in.
it matters. It's no different than first impressions with people.
Right, it's the same thing.
Same thing applies. We want to,
Why I brought it up.
yeah. Okay, so what now, right? Caveat to anything here, you order it right away with Kelly. Okay, or whoever you're doing it with. Don't wait, don't wait.
Kelly's like, what?
She was here, she knows, yeah. Okay, door hangers. Okay, amazing little things, in Kelly's open house package, like you can get them, you can fill them out date and time, so they're kind of just general. The cool thing is she'll custom do them to your orders, right? To your actual listing. You guys should be door knocking at least 100 doors and during the duration, at least. It's getting hot. I recognize that's more challenging right now.
Can I
Okay,
just say how I've been doing them? 'Cause I've been doing them.
yes, go,
So
type in.
I usually go an hour before the open house because I've been sitting with tons of agents since January. I've only had 3 weekends off. It's been open house. So I do 40 door hangers, get an hour before. I do 40 door hangers and then 10 boxes, which you guys will see. Giving the date and time, and I was door knocking. Found out no one's answering their doors. I don't like when people knock on my door, so I completely stopped.
Yeah.
And you'd actually be surprised when you do these two things, you're going to get a lot of neighbors. It's impressive.
Yeah, and that's part of what they're doing to turn around and duplicate that business.
I just kept it as 40 though.
So it's a
10,
good number,
10, 10.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you see the boxes here, did you bring one?
I did not, but
It's okay.
those I'm so excited about.
Yeah.
The boxes.
So come slide in and let's, this is more your,
So this was like the first thing I came up with. People like the warm and fuzzies. And not, I was trying to think of something what's fun. So I started making these boxes. It has a special invitation. It's got all the realtor's bio in it, all their business cards, any other things. Usually a soda, candy, popcorn, like it's full. They also get the personal invitation to the open house. I just closed on a home this morning. Sat the open house with Pamela 2 months ago. She got a listing and a sell off that box. James, 2-3 weeks ago, neighbor 3 doors down. He is looking for a rental property. It came in off the box. I'm seeing it like work and it's unbelievable. I love those boxes. Rachel, where are you going now? Mailings? If anyone has any questions about any of this, just ask. Like, I've been test running tons and tons and tons of things.
How do you decide who gets the boxes?
I do 10. So I'll just go the immediate area.
Okay, just Monte Carlo method.
Yeah, and then after those 10, the 40 door hangers go out.
Oh, okay.
And then as I'm out there, like if people are walking their dogs or whatever, like I'm always just trying to invite them over and just being happy and just bubbly, and they love it.
yeah. I mean, I call them door, they're officially box
Box
knockers.
I actually had one lady, because I don't drop off to the no soliciting, so, and I'm outside sometimes, and the neighbor came over, oh, look at the box I got, so I didn't get one, and I had to tell her.
Well,
You
yeah.
got no soliciting,
Yeah.
right?
So she does it for the 10 surrounding neighbors for that house. If you guys were to pull the canceled FSBOs and expireds from that neighborhood that you're doing and also do them,
Oh, yeah, I'm doing, that's on something different level.
yeah, that's a different level. But what would that do for showing them how differently you do stuff versus how their other agent didn't do it or how they think they can do it better, right? Because our cancels and expireds are, well, they're just our angry sellers and our FSBOs are our know-it-alls, right? So you could probably change the game on the way that you're doing something by just doing something as simple as a little box with some snacks and a personal invite. Okay,
What's in that box? Can you say what was in the box again?
So I'll do, the sheet on the house that we're sitting open. I usually make a bio for the realtor that is sitting. And then business cards, a soda, popcorn, candy, just whatever I can put in to stuff it and just, you gotta warm up to people, right? They're always
You
like,
just leave the box at the door.
I do. I was knocking and I stopped. I was like, I think I knocked, I don't know, since January, probably over 100 doors. I think maybe 2 or 3 people answered. I'm like, okay,
but how many people end up coming because of the boxes?
a lot of them.
Or the flyers, right? I mean, because you're still leaving the flyer.
Oh, yeah, they're getting everything. They're getting a whole package.
Because I see that too, but people aren't answering their doors, which is Saturday morning.
Yeah, I don't like when the solar guys knock.
Doesn't matter, I don't push it, I just leave the thing, if there's a ring thing there, I'll say, hey, we're having an open house.
Yeah,
Can't
I
wait to
love
see
that.
you."
I wonder how many times that Michael King's on someone's ring going, hey. Just,
No, no.
that's awesome. If we could get that footage, I would love that.
I usually just drive down the street, hey, we got cupcakes, come on down.
I love it. Right?
Oh, God, I get so crazy.
She's fun, yeah, but it shows in her business, right? It shows in the way that they're doing business and they keep it moving, okay? How many of you heard me gripe about what businesses are around your listings? I've said it many times. How many of you guys go and solicit and drop off a personal invite or the box, whatever you wanted to do to the businesses that are around the listing? Okay. Yeah, not a this, it needs to be a this.
Good.
Why? Those are your guys' next buyers and sellers. They're shopping, working, and or living in that area. Those are perfect to do, right? And Tara showed that to me. That just popping in and saying, hey, come, how many people come, right? This is their area too. So doing a little pop by, okay? No bigger than this, house on the front, QR information to contact on the back. Okay, that's not this piece, it's just this size, okay? You guys should know because you did the research what businesses were around there, right?
Going into the local gas stations, on most part, Quick Trips will not allow you to do this.
Quick Trip, Ross,
But they won't let you. Quick Trip won't
Walmart,
let
there's
you
a lot of them.
grass. Or at least mine, multiple times, multiple locations.
Bring them cupcakes.
They have corporate rules, but any other gas stations, I started out with 4 or 5, and then people were asking, hey, can you leave a few more of those?
Yeah.
Just the door knockers is what I would leave.
yeah, door
But
knockers, the Popeyes.
hospitals, I need flyers. Because
Yeah.
people read stuff, so it has the MLS on the back and it has the open house invite in front. And it's ambiguous on the date and the place.
Do you know what your response rate is from that?
I don't, it was hard to qualify, but I know the
I mean,
days
like-
that, the only thing I could say is on the days that I hadn't done it at this particular one over Del Webb area, I got far less people coming.
Yeah.
But I had, it's hard to qualify the number, but I have had people, come in and say, yeah, we were sitting over at the hospital, we wanted to just give a break.
So I would almost have to your open house feedback card. How did you hear about the open house?
Generally.
Yeah, I mean, I would start tracking that. I think that one's a huge one. Okay, database. Well, I only have like this type of person, or I only have my SOI. Who cares? Maybe they know someone. They are someone and you don't know. So let's get your open houses to your database. Okay, if you have a lot of listings, do it as a weekly. Okay, a 1-pager. Here's all the opens happening this weekend. Okay, but your database is sitting there probably doing nothing. That's something to do with it. Okay. You lenders, that's a great one for you. All your people doing open houses that you're facilitating relationship with, help them market it and get that buy side on that. Okay. Next, social. You guys know how big I am on social. Okay, we should be soliciting social, and I will go through a couple of those pieces on the next slide, but do not leave that empty. Okay, don't. In fact, I just got yelled at from a social person I'm working with. He's like, "You're not using Snapchat?" I'm like, "No." Like, Rachel, like, oh.
Another one.
It's like I feel you guys feel about TikTok, right? I've submitted to that one, so it's like,
Talk to you.
huh?
At one point in time, off of this, we need to talk.
Okay.
I got busted by Facebook.
Ooh. We will talk, not here. I don't want to divert off
No,
the
I know.
subject, but I do want to hear.
Say it so you remember that.
Yeah, I will, trust me, I will remember that. Okay, last one is website. Okay, we will be doing a lot. We have the regional tech trainer coming in twice. I have him on the 21st of May and then on the 6th of June. 21st of May is website 101 with Command. The second one is website 202, and it's going to be specifically landing pages and some of those things, right? So we can put on anything, we can build whatever we want to our command website, okay? But your website should also be, you should be advertising there as well. Any questions about these platform or like, okay? So if we get it, if we're thinking about it, it's like, oh, in person, rounding, in person, database, right, emails, social, right? Mailings, people that deal with, oh, every door directs, I forgot that too. I want you to be very, I want to be caveat to every door directs. You schedule them and they're supposed to go out. If you get it early enough on the time you scheduled it, they'll go out that day because they're just being shoved into, it's just bulk mail, okay? It will take a day or two though, usually, sometimes 3 from the time you drop it off. I've seen that be the variance. So make sure that you're not dropping it off the day before your open house, a few days prior to that, okay? Because you want them to prep and there's nothing worse than having something hit after, okay? All right, okay. So to go back into some more of the specifics around it. So door knocking, I recommend 100. She said 40 during it. I'm going to recommend 100. You found a way to perfect it. I think they need to practice. Anywhere from 3 days up until the day before, or even the morning of. The reason I put this is because again, you have your plan ready, but most y'all are gonna show up unprepared or not know what to do, not know how long it's gonna take to do a couple these activities, just start doing them days before, okay? And the door knockers or box knockers as well. She said the day before, but again, anywhere from 3 to day before. Business to business also, I would recommend about 2 days before, just because they could toss things, especially if it's sitting there. Database, I recommend at least 2 days before and the day prior as a reminder. Mailers, every door directs or any kind of mailings, okay? At least 3 days before. Okay, and social, this one's gonna be a little bit more. I want you to drop it a week, then 3 days before, and then day before. Cool thing is you can schedule all that crap to go out. So like, you know what I mean? Like this and this one are all physical activities. This would all be scheduled. Once you have your content and your pictures, you can just schedule that stuff to go out and never doing any of it. Okay? So remember to work smarter, not harder. Questions? Did I miss that? Circle cross.
I do I have a lot of out-of-state friends, so I'll send it directly to them.
Sure, you should.
And some have said, well, why are you sending me this stuff? It's in Arizona. Who do you know?
Yeah, who do you know?
And it just starts a conversation.
Exactly. I love
Any
it.
open house is complete marketing strategy, no matter what.
Mhm.
And so that's why I do all the things I do for houses that I'm not listing, is not thinking that I'm gonna sell that house, is that I'm gonna go meet thousands of people.
You need
because
to be
I'm
building
just
the
doing all
business.
the activities.
Yeah, 1000%. Okay, so my creme de la creme with this one is circle prospecting. Because this one list allows you to call the hood during each of the transaction periods that you have with Insta value. The thing that we struggle with most is picking up the phone and not having value, right? Like, what am I gonna say? Cool, I'm inviting you to the open house. Cool, the listing just went under contract for X amount, right? Cool, it just sold for X amount. Oh, I have a new listing, right? Insta value, you're just letting them know and then you're turning around and asking for the business. Do you or anyone you know need to buy or sell real estate? Just take your yeses and nos and move on to the next thing, guys. Okay, but you need to, this is part of keeping relevant, right? Because if you look back between this one and this one, right? Or the other one, okay? With the phone calls, you're hitting every communication platform. You should be doing this with every single listing, open house or not, should be solicited this way. Every buyer, right? When you go under contract and have a photo and doing stuff like that, you should also be doing the same thing, circle prospecting the neighborhood, mailing to the neighborhood, soliciting your database that you got under contract, like all these things can be applied to both sides. Okay? All right. Awesome. 10-15 minute break.
So I'm gonna ask you this question.
Yeah, let's go in the office real quick.
Actually, we're on to.
I get it. I bored y'all.
Yeah.
Where'd my presentation go?
How's it going?
Good, how we doing?
Yeah, Keith, I talked to my guy yesterday. He says, oh, well, we did.
Yeah.
Thought Founds, we haven't heard from him yet.
No.
Okay, because we, he's got a list.
Just
of
look for
how-
stuff up is more
Oh,
what I would
yeah.
say.
And
You can, I mean, join the group and stuff, but
Exactly.
I would
Since I got-
recommend.
I didn't need a
specific group in mind, because there were several on.
Yeah, good, I'm looking.
No,
forward to
I
it.
just want
Yeah.
you to jump
Maybe I should tell him
into
you want to call you
mindset,
because you're so busy.
because
That's what I've
that's
been
what's
asking
most.
tomorrow. I'm going
Okay,
tomorrow.
it shall have tons of videos and different stuff
But
on
I'm sure he gets you to
on that,
schedule
okay?
an appointment,
Yeah,
right?
You are welcome, my love.
yeah,
Okay, we're gonna do
I wanna
15.
get some, your times, schedule out.
yeah.
You might be able to get in there and just be like, hey, I know you schedule people out, what day do you might have off,
Ooh, dramatic.
right? And then I
Yeah.
can call
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
them, or even better.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened? My Facebook is-
Okay,
oh,
so one is, I would love your time. These are the highest percentage.
Yeah.
I'm going through is actually doing like a buyer's consultation where I have them come in, we can either do it here.
Uh-huh.
You can conference or whatever, or I can not.
Lives in Chandler.
Yeah, and my office is in Mesa.
Yeah, in fact, he's on Power Road in
Yeah.
Mesa, Power and,
Well,
McDowell.
Swing by my office.
Yeah, so he's at 202, yeah. So you're on Stapley and
Yes, Staple Drive.
Stapley and where the cross is.
Oh.
You're south,
Never really.
you're south of 60, right?
Yeah, it's right by the highway, so the 60, so. I forget what the one. The street, I'm gonna be first Safeway, but it goes Safeway and then it's right in the turn off. So on the 60 and then basically you can see the highway.
Are you on the north side or the south side? On the south, east side, there's the theater, there's Texas Roadhouse, all that kind of stuff.
I can see across the street, so
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah,
no,
across, like, consider there's the gas station and then our office, there's a bunch of office buildings like that and stuff. And they're kind of hidden, but just corporate offices and ours is upstairs, you know, this is like.
yeah,
And then,
so there'd be no problem. I don't see what
yeah,
can stop.
and then across over there is like that little mall section, I think we were talking about.
Yeah.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's-
Yeah, because it goes, oh gee, yeah, because I had this discussion, you know, and he understands, man, that it's moving in the seller's market. You go to the interest rate, but you know. jump on something like that.
Yeah, and that'll be a good one if we
Yeah.
push it into,
Mhm.
you know.
Like, I
and
feel
say,
it's like, I'll send it out,
things are going.
you know, the
Mhm.
list of these are appropriate for events. You know, if I add or. if I have-
I'm gonna go do this presentation.
That way, I know when I have
And
to
I
wrap
put
it,
it
just
mark
bam,
yard,
bam,
it
bam,
says
bam,
it's
bam,
the seller's market.
I
And
don't
when
do
it
it.
says.
So I was gonna go put
Yep.
some on my list
You
before
just-
else.
Yeah.
When it says.
No, honey, it's
Because for the
like,
longest time, I'm convinced.
Yeah, Facebook and Facebook, like,
Well, that's just.
their little jail thing.
There's things called. jail.
You knocked me out of my.
There's the ones that I-
Yeah, that's when I said you were in Facebook.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Not
reviewed it.
slogans or whatever, I posted one
Okay.
on renting.
So I'm just gonna show you this real quick because I could go use a little browse room, but. So when you go here, right, and we go to
How does it sell it for more?
Yeah.
groups,
Yep.
right?
Seller's market,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't post that.
Yeah, yeah, you have to be really circumspect, that's some of that stuff.
Usually it's under featured or there'll be like rules.
Oh, yeah, I've
Okay.
come across, right now I have so few that I generally know, I knew the ones that I was violating, glitches, I know that. But I just thought, no, it's just a one time.
No, they'll kick you pretty good. So either it's like on the about or featured, or they'll have like a rules section
Mhm.
and just make sure that, and just keep a, like I said, just an Excel log.
Mhm.
Because it's not like Facebook allows you to like I've been trying to work with that, like, how do I see my activity? What have I posted to, especially if I get broke up in the middle of me posting to them? And so, like, when I do my open houses, I'm strictly, if it's community related to that community, or if it's open house or real estate related in which I have freedom. If it has just some variances, I don't even post in it. I don't wanna, you know what I mean? Cause
I do.
for you to slow down and do all that. Oh, it looked cool.
Oh, yeah, you like that?
Yeah, 'cause you
Brad
can't see,
Easton?
yeah, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get these. When do I see, am I gonna see you Thursday?
Oh, Thursday, actually. Mythology. I know.
Okay, I need to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm starting my. It's not sorry. I believe I will. There's a whole thing. And, so I am. So I mean. Yeah, slow chat.
You will find this so damn humorous, you'll probably fall over and die, but I have a tech thing for you to go with the staging that you were talking
Yeah?
about earlier.
Yeah, throw it.
AELO, AELO.ai is a We Serve member benefit. I just did a class on it this
Why
morning.
have I heard of it? What was it?
AELO, announced AELO.ai. For $10 a month, you can stage as many rooms as you want on your platform. It's a We Serve member benefit.
Well, it's a we serve, so you and I are we serve, not everybody. Will you send me the link to that?
I can send you the
That just-
email for the class that I did that
That's
has the
fine.
name of
Yeah,
it.
that name, because I
Okay.
it doesn't. Let's get some peek. That's amazing, dude. I love
You
it.
coming through with something tech.
I know.
And it was one of those things I looked at, like, shit, I think I can even do this. That's how easy it was.
Hopefully there's some more functions.
Hey,
We almost took them down, but because we took the pony walls down, he didn't take my chairs, so kind of rude. Okay, well.
No, this is great. It's very nice.
Good, still going on. We're just taking a break.
Yeah, perfect. Makes sense.
We going to, class tomorrow, that's a new class. I've got a list.
Appointment?
Yeah.
Hard.
Oh, clean shaven and.
Yeah.
Or do you just take it off the face?
I take it off. I like that.
Yeah. Just took all the things out. Okay. We've got 1 minute, so we'll just start. Kind of,
So until 4 o'clock, right?
or whenever, yeah, it might go sooner than that.
Hello, Joe.
Okay. So last part is actually executed, okay? Okay, first one is creating social events. Okay. You can create, because you guys have your business page or even on your personal page, always recommend a business page, but you can create the event. What's great is you can direct everybody there and post daily things about it, fun things, features about the house, right? This one's good because people are always looking for free things, and open houses, especially because they've become big again, are constantly being used and sought after, like people are seeking them. Okay. Second one is social groups, which is what Michael King was just asking me. He got put in Facebook jail. I have,
I'm sorry, why do you say it was jail?
yeah, so I know when I talk about social groups, when you guys are soliciting, to be very cautious about A, is it real estate related? B, is it community related to the house that I am soliciting? And two, or the third one is read the rules. Okay, it can be real estate related and they don't allow solicitations. Maybe they allow listings to no open houses, right? You guys have to read the rules. It's always about, it's up at the top. You know, when we go through Facebook this week and stuff, we'll actually, I'll show you guys how to do that. But it has to be real estate or community related, usually, unless like your group that if you're affiliated with anything is open to it. Sometimes there's like free events and things like that that I'll post to as well. But I recommend doing it at least a week before, updating that post 3 days in the day of. Okay, it keeps that post relevant and up to the top. Okay. Also, did you know we have an open house feature in our MLS and it syndicates to everything else that you see our listing on? Posted it on MLS. Okay, it's all where it started. And if it syndicates, then great. Less work for you guys to have to do. Who's heard of next door?
For what?
Next door. Okay, you can grow, like, join all kinds of different like neighborhoods and stuff like that. That I like to view Nextdoor as our social media platform for farming. Okay, so therefore I recommend that you guys are posting the open house to the appropriate neighborhood. It's just a great reach and people are constantly looking for things to do, right? If you're gonna door knock or box knock, okay, I know, we're gonna come up with the whole thing. It's gonna be like, so look at my new box knockers. Okay, it's gonna become a thing, Jody. Anyways, it's just a great platform then to hit everybody who's not answering the door or you didn't hit, okay? And then the last one, yeah, I didn't even put the name because they who must not be named is what that one is called, but we all know what that is. Okay, sometimes it syndicates right, sometimes that doesn't, but you can add an open house to your listing on Zillow, okay? Why? Because buyers are still searching there. Any questions? Because we might go through this a little fast and I'll release you guys. Okay, so size, a big thing, okay? Do we have enough? I was gonna do a video today with my 25 open house signs. Guess what? They're all gone, which is a great problem now. That means you guys are doing open houses and using the signs. But even the easiest of homes to get to still will require about 10 signs. From your turn-ins to your, directionals. You'll need at least 10. So You guys should be pulling up your area map and seeing all the entrances into your neighborhood. All of those need to be hit. You have to have something with pulling everybody in from every direction on the neighborhood. Second, dude, where's my sign? You remember that? Was that 2000s? Dude, where's my car? Ashton Kutcher and that other guy. He's so funny. Anyways, White Castle guy, that's what I think about. Also, when you're doing that and you pull your neighborhood up on Google Maps, print it out. And let's plot where you put your signs. Can't tell you how many times you put a sign out, and you'll pay for my signs if you lose them, because they're not cheap. But you go and you're like, oh, I got all my signs. You go home and I'm like, oh, I've got 9 and I put 10 out. Right? Because you don't know where you put them. That was 3-4 hours or, before you ended, right? Probably
There's the occasional idiot who'll steal it too. I mean, I've had that happen, but it doesn't happen often.
No, but it happens. I mean, especially like those A-frame ones, like mine are all on those metal A-frames. You can replace them with anything. I've taken my old team signs and put covers over them for our events, and I use them that way. Like, people use them for like yard sales and things like that. Okay. Not always necessary, but because it's become so easy and cheap. I love, like, oh, did you see that? Use flashy things to grab attention and drive traffic, right? Sometimes people use balloons. I can get a little wonky with wind and stuff, and we seem to be real windy here the last few years. Kevin Lynch uses little American flags and just slides them into the thing, right? There are like the apartment building or car lot balloons. They are deflatable, but they're like more plasticky. Like you could use those, or like these flags. These flags are super cheap now. I remember when we used to pay like $120 for a flag, and now you can get them for like 20 bucks. Okay, and those just slide right into the little hole, right? Those ones are easy, and they can collapse and just be in like a little bag, so they're easy. The other thing I love, and we do have a place that can do them for like $15, but most of our signs have a writer option, okay? Sometimes a post will have the ability to put a writer up here. Typically, we'll see grommets down here or holes, and we can place a writer here. If you had this and just like markered or stickered or whatever, or you had one specifically, because I only do open house, why would you not put an open house writer on your sign and solicit all that traffic coming in for that week? Okay, so that's another great way to use your signage as a way to drive traffic. Questions before we get to the creme de la creme on this one?
You guys already know this, but I've learned a lesson hard way, time or two, I've forgotten to do it, but any HOA, they've got rules and restrictions on where you can put signs and how many, and especially retirement communities, so.
So what did I say in the beginning?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Even like HOA communities won't allow like a sign post and you have to put it in the window. You know what I mean? Depending on mostly condos and in townhomes and stuff like that. Okay, so here's the creme de la creme with I don't think I'm sharing. Maybe no, I'm still sharing. Okay, sign location, right? So if you see this, you can see I turn in here or I turn in here, right? I'm not saying don't put a sign on the corners. You need someone to know that that's way. But we want to put it here and we want to put it here, right? What happens when I'm driving and I see that like right here? I'm driving, and I see it. Am I gonna stop in the road?
No.
Okay. If there's not more than one point of access, right? What I'm gonna do, keep driving. My wife's like, let's go see the house. I'm gonna go, we better turn around or we'll come back later. Okay. So one of the things is putting it 200-300 feet, making sure you have a sign before your directional into the turn, especially off your main roads. Okay. That way there's response time. Okay. I'd be surprised if you guys change just this piece of it, how much more traffic you guys might have. I would love to hear that. Okay. Because you've been doing quite a bit of open houses.
People will keep going, like you said, or they'll slam on their brakes or whatever, they'll keep going.
They'll just kind of go, yeah. They're not gonna, you're not giving them that like, ooh, maybe, is it worth it? It's only 4 minutes. Yeah, no thought process to be able to respond. They're past it then. Okay. Questions about that? Have you found that to work?
I don't mess with signs.
Oh, you don't do the signs. That's
I hate
okay.
them.
I
I
have
feel
more.
like Frogger.
Can we be really honest? Like, I feel like I've reached this point in my business, right? That I thought I would be hiring my kids, but I look at my husband and go, "The sign." I have more pictures of him picking up signs, but he's so anal about it, and I almost get every sign back every time unless someone's taken it. That's only happened like a couple times. So yeah, hire your kids. We want to keep them off the streets, right? So we're gonna put them on the streets.
Let that be Frogger.
I like it. They can be Frogger. I don't value your knife. I just gave it to you, so therefore I can risk, yeah. And I always feel bad because we have to, like, our job is to respect road rules and stuff like that. And technically, when you're putting signs out and stuff like that, you are not always following them. And you are literally hopping and froggering it. We should do a video on that. That would be funny as shit. I've just realized like I've got like 20 videos for you and I to do, Jody, just so you know. Okay, so that makes sense, right? I would like you guys to reapply that, Aiden, you as well during some of the open houses you guys are doing. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about prepping the house. So I always recommend getting to the house at least 2 hours early, especially if you're doing any door knocking and stuff like that. Signage takes time to put out. You know me, I'm always going to recommend you guys have someone with you, just for that reason. Buyer wants to go out, signs have to go out, the house still has to be prepped. It's sometimes hard to do it all yourself and be on time. I will tell you that between Ring doorbells, cameras, and nosy frickin' neighbors, whether you're hosting someone else's open house or it's yours, your sellers will learn if you're late or early. Have you been late or early? Because I'm gonna tell you, I know some people in here have, and I have received notice that they have because neighbors talk. Okay, so the point of getting to is be prepared. So if we want to prepare the house, we got to make sure we're prepared. So show up early, and here's why. I always keep, like, when it's hot, I don't keep the cleaner in my car. I have like a little thing, and in there is just cleaning supplies and light bulbs and random stuff, right? Because the last thing I want to do is just show up and go, okay, I'm gonna do the open house. And I'm like, oh, like the dog poop. That's just a great example, right? Now, future, I gotta bring some gloves and some doggy bags and some things like that, because that was not fun. And I was using some funky things to try to pick up wet dog poop. But
I'm sure that didn't put you in a good mood or wouldn't put you in a good mood at all.
actually, believe it or not, I'm quite easy, just like I am here. I mean, I'm like, I bitched the whole time, and I told Sally, I was like, just for the record, our friendship, if I ever owed you anything at this point, we're so squared. In fact, you might owe me. Most friends don't pick up dog poop for other people's listings, but people, again, why do we have the value and we struggle? Our sellers and buyers are never going to know how much we're working. Okay. They don't know that we're going to show up, and that's something that we have to do, because if not, it reflects badly on us and the listing, right? So clean up the messes, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes you've just got to wipe things down. Sometimes you have to hide things. Okay, so clean up messy and or hide. Freshen air. So whatever that is, when we talked about this, open windows, filters, the charcoal, like, you should know those things before. I would ask, like, Aiden, if you're doing an open house for the Melendez in State 48, are there smells, or are there anything I should be aware of, right? Like, oh, the house is really dark. You're gonna have to make sure that you're opening everything up, okay? So whatever that is, which goes to my second one, bring in the light. No, we're not always allowed. We cannot change a client's house without their permission, but go in, and that expectation has to be that I'm gonna go into every room and open the curtains and open the blinds. You want that house to be as bright as possible. Okay, we can put as much window coverings on a house to make it dull if that's what we want. We cannot create light like that. We can't add windows. I mean, you could, but that's like this much of our pool. Okay, so bring in the light. And this one's a really big one. Make sure the toilet seats are down, please. I know that sounds so stupid. It goes back to the cat and the dog mess. I'm just gonna say it. We all know that we poop and pee, but somehow, yeah, somehow in our brain, it's like this thing. And I think I understand why, because I was sharing this with my son. His friend is dating a girl that is his dad's best friend's child. Does that make sense? Like, follow me there? Okay, when I met said best friend 23 years ago, I went to their wedding. And I found out that one used the restroom on one end of the house and the other one on the other, and they both shut, like the one that used the master, like she even shut the master bedroom door. It's like, that's so weird. If you're gonna marry, like that should be like a comfortable thing, like not that someone's sitting in the room with you, right? But that you're like, we all know we do it, right? And so as I thought about this more, I realized like, does anyone have cats or, okay? Animals in general, is anyone aware of animals' poop habits? Okay, most animals defecate and they hide it. Okay, so and why do they do that? Do you know? It's to stop predators from smelling them. Okay, it's also something that we do when we're very vulnerable. So the reason why I believe that it's such this weird stigmatized thing is because yes, we all know that we do it, but at the same time, it's a primal instinct to want to hide it. Okay, and it is probably the one piece next to intimacy that we're very exposed, right? And I mean, just from a primal standpoint, right? Like, I know, it's a weird topic, but I mean, trust me, this is when I did it last quarter, I was trying to find like an odor, like, like emoji or like little icon on Canva, it's like maybe a out or something. And then I found out that you can't do certain things in Canva because it limits your restriction, but then they have icons for very inappropriate things on. And I was like, oh, I needed a butt, not a plug, but thank you. So if you're curious, go into Canva and see what they have because it's scary. Okay, the other thing is tap into the Wi-Fi or your hotspot. And that'll play a point, right? We should always be bringing our computers and stuff, but make sure that you're able to connect with the internet because chances are you're going to need it, whether a client needs you to look at something or you want to show them or you're bored and need to work. Okay. Questions about preparing the house. Most sellers are pretty good about giving you their Wi-Fi stuff. Okay. If not, just go, hey, I lead gen around all the leads that come in and I need to be able to do this. Okay. Are you ready for your open house? Get your shit together. Okay. I know this is weird, but people like to get in your face. What's that mean? Mints, brush teeth, gum, whatever. Water is great. Dairy can make us phlegmy and filmy, right? And you're going to be talking to people. So I'm very much a bubble person. Even like y'all know me, I'll hug you. But if I talk and someone gets too close, watch me. I'll step back, right? Part of that's my fear of smelling someone else's breath, to be honest with you, and vice versa. But it's because of that, because people get in and I'm like, if I can feel the heat off of your breath, you're too close, right? But make sure you're clean. Like, just understand that's very uncomfortable. Back to the poop thing. It's just uncomfortable. No one wants to talk about it, but it's there. Okay, bring drink and food. You're gonna be sitting there for 3-4 hours. Like, some of us can fast. Eat. I don't know about you. If I'm bored and I'm not doing 5 things at once, I get hungry. It's about the only time I get hungry. If you take me out, like we were supposed to go to that baseball game, I was so worried, like Lana got sick, but I was like, oh shit, Jody's gonna see me just eat because I'm only doing one thing and I have to do at least 2. So then my body goes to, well, I guess you're hungry. But drink, right, too. Like we'll go to a vacant house or we don't want to touch their stuff like this, so make sure you're prepared, okay? I feel like backpacks have become a big thing. Okay. Even me, I bring my purse and I have a backpack. Okay. Bring your computer. For heaven's sakes. Aiden, do you have your computer?
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all know if you come into the office and do training with me, what do I want you to bring? The computer, right? Because that is our extension of our business. If you're bored, great way and time. You have nothing else to do but work. Okay. With that, please bring your chargers. Nothing's worse than your phone and or your devices going thing. So if you can bring your computer, chances are you bring this little thing that's called the charger. Phone as well. Bring your print material. Have it printed out before, not be printing the day of. Please, for heaven's freaking sake. Okay. Early bird gets the worm. Arrive early. And last one, please, for the love of everything holy. Of everything holy, faithful, unholy, I don't care.
Can I say something?
Yes, I'm
So-
actually gonna have a class on this. Believe, I'm actually a whole one classer
I
on.
like,
You would think this is common.
It's
sense.
not.
It's not.
It's not.
so this is crazy. So I like
I
to run
can-
around and go to all the opens and just see like what's going on. So one time I walk in and this guy comes out and he's got no shoes on. And he's literally has like Freddy Krueger, some horror movie on this big screen and he's just hanging out. And I'm just like, oh my God. This is how he's running his open house.
He's the
Another one-
agent.
Yeah, this is the agent. Another one I went to just 2 weekends ago, Saturday in the Anthem Country Club. This woman looked like she rolled out of bed, didn't put a brush through her hair, and she was just that she looked like a scarecrow. Like I was just like, I mean, it
Act
was-
and look like they don't give a shit.
oh yeah. And then another one I sat with an agent, the one that had her girlfriends there, proceeded the whole time to burp like she was chugging beer. This is what's going on out there.
Yes,
It's,
it's horrible. Okay,
I
I,
always look at it like it's a job interview.
What they say about.
It is a job,
what they
because it
say
is.
About common sense, how uncommon it is.
she said it best. It's a job interview.
It
In
is
fact,
a
that
job.
might be the name of the class, is it's a job interview, right? So now I want to recognize something too. We are wickedly hot here. Okay, yeah, I know. Okay, when we're putting out signs, that's a sweaty thing. Okay, I think Arizona is one of the only states in which we could walk in with a tank top as a female and flip-flops, and that's considered to be, depending on what they are, to be able to be dressy, right? I recognize that. If you're gonna do an open house, it's hot, bring a second set of clothes. There's always gonna be a bathroom you can change out of, bring some deodorant, like we all sweat through it, right? Again, the only place that we can have sweat stains, and that's an acceptable thing, okay? Man, we seem to talk about all the bodily things today. Anyways, I had no idea that an open house was gonna require so many bodily things. Anyways, the point that I'm getting to is have some kind of backup to it, because it is a job interview and we are in the public side. And if we're in the public side and it is a job interview, then how we show up matters, okay? This is probably the most casual I would ever show up to an open house, and that's what I'm currently wearing. I'm wearing flats for everybody who can't see on there. Typically I actually will wear a dress and heels. I will bring a flat pair of flip-flops that I can wear if no one's in the house.
But this is good too, because you're approachable.
I am, I'm not, but I will, and all my dresses are pretty, you know, everything's modest. I'm very big. Girls, we don't need all our stuff hanging out. Boys, like, have your hair brushed, you know what I mean? Things like that. You don't need, Aiden, you're so cute in your stuff. You don't have to wear a full blazer and stuff like that too either. Okay, and y'all know my story about the agent that door knocked 250 doors wearing shorts shorter than I would wear at home, and in a wife beater looking like a male version, you know, brunette Johnny Bravo. He didn't get one deal out of that. I don't know why. He's very handsome, but like so why? Because no one can see past that, right? Like if we're in the public eye, how we display it matters, right? So, and for a seller, you are representing our seller. Show up nice, matched, clean, hairbrush. Okay. I know that there's been like
Shoes, yeah, put the shoes
shoes,
on.
yeah,
And turn the movies off.
dude, position yourself. I get it. Sometimes we play and we do the things and we're bored and stuff. No one says you can't do that. No one's saying don't sit. I mean, you know, don't be disrespectful though, but have access to the door in which you can see someone coming in too. Okay? Don't
Watch
be
it
in a
on your
position
phone,
or watch it
not
on
the
your
big
phone.
screen.
Yeah, not the big screen.
in the house.
You should be having music or something on, if anything. But it's become such a big thing that it is, I feel like it has to be its own class. Now, I want to also drive attention to the fact that we're a very accepting society right now with hair color and tattoos and piercings, specifically those three, okay? They can be done right and they can be done wrong, okay? I'm not saying you can't have tattoos, piercings, or colored hair to be a real estate agent. But what I want to remind you guys of, and I have to tell you this too, like recently we had a situation come up that made me realize that maybe I had streamlined myself so much
that I had lost some of my own personal identity within my style, right? So I want to recognize I'm not asking anyone to fully conform, but our job being in the public, dealing with the public is a conforming job. The other thing that I want to remind you of is that it is also finances. We are handling the most important thing in someone's life. And historically, when we deal with finances, someone is in a suit and tie. I'm not saying that has to be the way that the world is, but what I'm saying is the way that you are presenting also reflects how you're going to represent and handle someone's money. Okay, so don't be someone you're not. Just, if we go into a clock in and out of job work, we're gonna make sure that we dress to the dress code. When we go home, for us girls, we're gonna take our hair down, our bra off, and we're gonna put our funky pants on. For you boys, I don't know what you do, but whatever it is that you take your work clothing off, you have to treat real estate the same way. In fact, I'll even go as far as to tell you not to show up to the office unless you can walk out with a buyer or seller. If you feel comfortable with what you're wearing, fine. If not, you should be able to do that. I did not anticipate having to go to a $1 million buyer appointment this morning. Luckily, if I'm not dressed in KW, Barb, I'm dressed up, right? It's one of the two. So if I downplay, I'm always in KW so that I'm branded, so therefore I can get away with it, right? But so I would have felt okay with going to it with that. But I was thankful that today I was at Ghost training. Normally in KW up, I'm just gonna dress like normal. So then I was very professional walking into his business that I had no idea 12 hours ago I was gonna walk into. Okay, so be prepared like that. You never know. We have walk-in business happening all the time. So if you're not willing to, you can't. Last thing, well, let me go home and get dressed. You're gonna lose that point. Okay. All right. I think we're almost done. Okay. So you guys know I love social and I think it's a thing. And I just told you that I wanted you to post to events, groups, post on your Facebook, share between your business page and your personal page, right? That's a lot of posting. What am I going to post? I'm a huge proponent that your open house should be the way to capture a whole bunch of visuals that you're going to regurgitate. You could regurgitate it for this listing, or you can splice together a whole bunch of shit and have like a whole bunch of content that you can regurgitate for your business. You're in a house. That's what we do. Take advantage of that, right? So if I'm going to post and you're asking me to post like, 20 times during the preparation and build out for the listing, what am I going to post? Home features. Okay. Every home has something fun. Okay. Every home. Sometimes we go into older houses and we're like, this is so outdated. Cool. Look at this amazing vintage,
Pink stove.
pink stove. Okay. This is just fantastic. Have you seen one of those? What's the craziest, dated thing you've seen in a house, right? That just took something that someone's going to have to replace and spend $1,000 to put a new stove in. Okay. And you just made it fun. How easy was that? That took 30 seconds. Okay. Home features are great. Plus, let's be honest, every seller thinks that their listing's the listing. So what do they think is the listing's listing piece of it? What is it? It's not the cat. What's the what about? I always say, what's the what about what? But isn't there like a saying? I don't know. Anyways, so going back to local hotspots. Okay. Stop into the coffee shop. Hey, we got this right down the, road for my listing. They got this great special going on. Don't say a no to free solicitation. Okay. Go in there, pop in and do a reel. Like Verado is amazing, right? You can just pop down their main street and it's gorgeous, right? Like you don't even have to get out of your vehicle, out the window, okay? I'm not saying do that, but what I'm saying is your local hotspots, right? Because those are the things that are going to sustain them while they're there. The other thing is hood stacks. I know. Okay, so what's going on in your neighborhood that everyone else needs to? What are your days on market? What's selling? What are they going for? What's your, whatever. It doesn't matter. It can be any kind of stat you want. The other one I love is HOA features. Remember, I talked about that. So what is your HOA and what are those amenities that you guys have? And capitalize on that, right? Again,
they're paying a second lien to have these benefits. What are those benefits? The third one is check-ins. Okay, I love that. Hey, just checking into my open house. I feel like we might have to have a class on proper spacing and some things like that, because they've been a little bit funky lately. And trust me when I say that if you're on my social, I'm watching all your stuff. And I will tell you that our office specifically has has bulked up the social pieces. Everybody, okay, I'm watching your stuff. And I am critiquing it. And I don't mean I'm critiquing it in a way that you're like, oh my gosh, she's good. No, I'm critiquing it and just like, what can we do better, right? So don't be surprised if I come at you and go, hey, I've been watching your open house videos and you've got it right here and you're just, and it's blurry and we're like, there's no dimension, like whatever. Okay, but check-ins are easy. Okay, checking in first, second, and third hour, right? Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just all we want is people to click it, you know what I mean, and start watching those things. Facebook Lives are great for that too. Does Instagram do lives? Like TikTok does. Do they? I've never done an Insta live, so. Okay, so anyways, right, those are great, like to check in for a hot minute, get that engagement, right, that view, and kind of hop off. Questions? Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Miss Melendi, okay. For all you online, you can't see, but this table is up front. We also have a second over here and we have snacks in the back. That's 3 tables, okay? But I like to call it a tale of a table and 4 chairs because that's where it's really designed. So Jody, I'm gonna have you go over to your table, my dear. And we're going to talk about why we have 4 chairs in one table. Specifically at this one. The other one, the one that you come into, we're not gonna go into that because I'm gonna give all her trade secrets away, but that has like sign in and stuff like that. This table is much different, okay? So, sorry, Aiden, you're like smack dab in the middle of it. You're good. You don't have to move, babe.
So this is the table that's in the house. Which have a section with coming soon and available that's comparable, like it's 5-bedroom, 4-bedroom, whatever it is. So you can sit there, we can go on the computer, we can look up whatever's going on. The reason I did the chairs was because when people come into the open house, like, you don't want to sit on other people's furniture. There's like an area where you can actually sit with the realtor is there with the lender, you can sit with both of them. I can't tell you how many times I've sat with realtors and at this table and actually taken an app right here. That happens all the time. And it's more intimate. So when everyone's sitting here, you guys are conversing and you're going over all the options, everything that's coming out. It just works out better than when they're just walking into a house and it's just, I see it so many times. There's just someone just standing in the corner and that's it. So this has worked out fantastic. I don't know if anyone has any questions about it. The other thing,
Jody, tell us why, like, having the ability from a lending side, not so much from an agent side, is so important to why this table is there. What can you literally do?
oh, like I said, I've taken apps right at the table.
So she's taking apps at the table, people. Do you understand that? Like why the lender's important and why? Because also what have we found with this sitting versus standing?
Standing's not as comfortable and no one's gonna sit on someone else's furniture.
Yeah.
They're just not.
So when you think about that, you just you created conversation within 4 pieces or 5 pieces right there.
And there's so many things to talk about, even if they're just walking through, like, I'll just come out and be like, it depending on the house, like this one was done, the house was 850. So I made all the buy down and all we have on the news is all the spirit about interest rates and all the stuff. This got so many conversations going, everybody sat to talk about the buy down.
Right? So again, understanding the finance piece to how that applies to the house and what can be done, right? She's not going to offer a buy down because who has to pay for it?
Well, so,
The seller. She's not going to offer a buy down if the seller can't do it, right?
Right.
So understanding what your options are matters.
right.
Yeah.
And then on the interior, I'm sorry, we're doing this on the outside. We're not on the outside table, but I do want to show something with that because
Yeah.
There's something weird and I haven't figured it out yet.
Here, let's go get the table.
The piece is taken from there to here.
Just be there. We're coming through. So here's the front table. Okay, go.
Okay, so I came up with this because open houses, everyone just has their sign out front, doesn't really do anything, right? Driving whatever. I got bright orange to make it just scream out front. And I'll sit out front and as people are walking the dogs driving by, you know, you make eye contact with them, wave them in, it works. Or, you know,
on the outside of the house, like right by the door.
well,
Usually
I've
by the
taken
garage,
it
huh?
right
Yeah.
by the garage, out to the curb, I've taken it everywhere, whatever is, wherever it looks nice for the home.
I mean, and we're just such sweet girls. We were able to carry the table.
And then, I always leave stuff, and I always go from inside, outside, whatever. The weird thing that I've noticed, and I don't know why yet, the items that are on this table, including like this. People are taking everything by the bucket loads. Now, when I've been in the open houses on the inside, people don't take a lot of stuff, right? This, I literally have to keep going out to refill. And on the outside one, I'll always have the home out there. And then a bio of the agent, so when they take the home info, they have everything.
How cool is that?
And these, and that, okay, the other weird thing that I've been playing with too, like, you know, like all the printing, like everything looks the same.
Mhm.
So I did some crazy like artwork, colorful stuff.
Yeah, she really did.
And I tested it. I said, okay, let's put the normal one out and the crazy one out. You know, I ran out of the crazy one. No one touched the board.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, all of our stuff is consistent, right? Because that's subliminal messaging, but it all is very, it's very themed around their color, which they're sold is a phoenix bird, right? And it's orange, so they've applied that. So, yeah, and then, I mean, Jody does a lot of fun marketing pieces and inputs, I don't even know how to describe it, it's just a different type of.
It is a different.
It's almost like comic book.
It is comic book.
It is comic book like esque in its way. No, I'm not talking. You have to see, you have to follow her. What's your tag?
On Instagram,
Yeah,
thelonegirl.com, the lone girl, yeah.
the lone girl, and then Facebook, just Jody Melindy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you should follow her and just see, like, because this is, if you guys don't think that social media works, it does. Okay, what else?
Just that's this, and then I always set up the kitchen table. That,
Which has snacks and all the things, so.
yeah, but I got like these special tiers, so visually it goes up.
Yeah.
Which is really pretty. And I do burn candles.
No one said no.
I know.
but it depends on, like, they can be.
Okay,
done
so I
real-
found the one.
Oh, you have the one?
I have the one that any woman that walks in, it is a conversation piece.
Oh, now I gotta find out what the one is.
It's Paris Cafe by Bath and Body Works.
Paris Cafe.
It smells like chocolate and coffee,
Interesting.
and women love it. So when they come
Coffee is
in,
a great smell
Yeah.
though, like in general, it's,
but they, and most
Yeah.
women like that stuff, so when they come in, it's another icebreaker for me,
that's perfect.
right?
Yeah, should have one that you could wrap up.
I know.
We'll get with Lisa. That she,
Oh, okay.
just say, okay, yeah, we're whispering over here.
With doing this too,
Mhm.
this, you know how hard it is to get everyone's information when they come in? Like, they don't want to give you their info.
Uh-huh,
When you have all this going, they just give it to you.
yeah,
I don't know if it's because it's not just someone standing there with a paper plate of cookies in the corner. They're walking into something that's like professionally done. It shows like you're not a
It's an
fly by
event.
night. Yeah.
yeah, it's an event.
So they just hand their info over.
Could you
it's-
imagine that?
Been crazy.
Yeah, and I'm a huge proponent of like that catch and release.
Yeah.
You know, so like setting the expectation when they come into the front table, hey, sellers really would like that, you know, would really prefer some feedback. You release them, okay, then you catch them back, you get the information and you release them again. So it's catch, release, right? But you have to, I don't know, set the expectation
Well, we
all the
had,
time.
we had one, the seller came in Saturday. We didn't know if he was coming in, never met him. It was all over the phone.
Yeah.
And all this was going, and he walked in and couldn't believe it.
Can you imagine what that would look like for the sellers, potential sellers in the neighborhood?
That's,
If this is how you put on, okay, now.
that's
what-
why I'm saying it's a job interview.
It
When you
is.
show this, don't think that people that are selling neighborhood aren't going out to all these open houses. They are.
Yeah.
And when they see this versus a paper plate with some cookies on it and someone standing in the corner, they're gonna go here.
Yeah. Now, I want to like point out, yes, we do sometimes have a buyer come through that buys our listing, right? I'm not saying that does not happen. But what I am saying is that the main point of this is to solicit, get as many buyers, that's our job as listing agent, get as many buyers' eyes on our property. Okay, in addition to that, it is such a great lead generating tool that you guys not taking advantage of it, and this having be the biggest part of it, of how you're lead genning, because it allows you to lead gen every platform from it, and get what? People to be in front of you, which is what we all feel we do better, right? I disagree with that, because I've had to learn it, but yes, we all initially go, okay, if I'm being face to face, then I can convert it. Okay, so why are you not doing as much as you can to get people into a place where you can be face to face so you can convert it if that's your limiting belief?
And it's not terrible. Like if you find like a vacant house, do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave everything there set up.
Yeah, just leave
That's what we
it.
do.
Yeah, because anyone who's coming through is going to be an agent who has access to the
Okay.
lockbox, right? So like nothing here that you can't replace or have reprinted out, and Kelly prints most of it out for free. So, right, like pretty
Well,
much.
I did all
Okay, okay. They do use Magnus a lot. Okay, so I hope that clarifies that. I mean, I don't want you to give all the secrets away because it is your thing.
that. No,
But a good example of like, this is just, did it feel different when you guys came in and you saw the
Yeah,
table and you're
yeah.
like, well, what's that? Wait, what is that?
Mhm.
Then you come around, you've got this and we've got snacks in the back, right? So it's like this engaging thing, right? Okay, I think I'm done, which is cool. Okay, any questions or thoughts? I feel like it felt a little bit different than last quarter. Who came to?
I wasn't able to
Did
make
you
it my
miss that
last
one?
quarter.
Did you go to the open house one?
No.
Does this one feel different? She was my guest speaker that was sick.
Oh, yeah.
Were there some parts that were the same, some things that were different, or because I didn't
There
do
was
it
some
much.
difference. Though.
Yes, same. A lot of those,
Concepts, but,
but I broke it up differently this time.
like
and-
the flag placement.
And then like I didn't put some things in that I'll probably put in next quarter. Okay, so I want to show you guys something real quick because I've been asking Kelly for this and she was so wonderful and came and brought it to me. This is a default open house box that she provides. So which means it's how do I put this? It is not branded to the home itself. Oh. So now I gotta get a box. You think I'm joking? I'm like, wait a minute. How did I not know about this? Okay. We just pulled some things out. Oh, and we got what? I got like all those things on here. Okay. Okay. Where was that? So Kelly has an open house box. We are working on a plug and play, people, for all the things that we're doing: listing, farming, open house, under contract, closing, okay? Which essentially means I'm not happy. I'm still working on what the actual box feels like, but this I don't hate. I don't hate this one. It's big, it's heavy enough that we can hold all the things in, right? So it's just a default box. Like I said, it's not branded to the house, although we do have plug and play like that. So buying and selling your home magazine, you know, like it's got all the things. We all know this one because we've all had it regurgitated for our stuff. Okay. Welcome. For security purposes, the owner requires all guests sign in. I'm not a big fan of this particular piece, but if you choose to use it, that's just my opinion. Shoot. 10 commandments of buying a home. I love this one because, well, we're constantly telling them not to do things. Like, please don't open a new credit card. Please wait to buy your furniture until after. Can you not buy that new card yet? You still have a little bit before it hits your credit. Can you just do that after you? Okay. The home buying process. Okay. Then we have, this one's cute. I've always done these at my open houses. It is a coloring book. Okay. I even, if you go in my office, I still have my little crayons I bought that are branded, have like a little sticker and stuff. And
This
those
is what
would
you
go
put
on.
together.
Yeah, like we can just order this box. It's very basic, like I said, so we just plug and play with all the things, okay? This one, not sure why we have stickers, but I'm loving it and need to find a way to use them right now. But that's a good size. That's the one I was looking at for the vendor things. Door knockers or hangers, okay? They're hangers, not knockers, because knockers are like more a flyer. These are hangers, right? There's a hole. Okay, you can put when and where, who's listed by, okay? So there's plenty of those that you can do. My favorites, I have like a 95% response rate from my sign-ins because I catch, release, that's my thing. So this one, she's put it all on one page. These ones have been pretty good. And then this is her version of a pop-by. She can make whatever you want, right? But thanks for, bye. You can attach it to popcorn. I've done that in the past too, right? I would have it QR coded probably back to you. It maybe be property specific, whatever. But anyways, just that alone, right? Like that, and then we're working on, where's my bag? Oh, did you move it? We're working on a very large bag, about this big, and anybody here, I'll show you. But it's gonna have the APS light bulbs, 10 of them, and the applications in it. Okay, it's gonna have snacks and waters. All you have to do is get your stuff here. It's gonna have little containers to put your flyers and pens and cards in and stuff like that. You get $20. You guys take that whole bag, and when I say it's a bag, okay, just it's bag and it's light. You're gonna take that, go to the open house, bring whatever back. You know, you've already paid the 20. We're just gonna apply that to making sure those bags remain filled. Okay, so between Kelly and Magnus or whatever title company you guys want to use, it's not okay. And then these bags that you guys can just kind of plug and play. And I've got all the open house signs. Really, for $20, you're telling me that you can't go do open houses all the time? Literally, I think everything's no other brokerage or even when KW is doing this. Okay. I understand that marketing and trying to put an event is really challenging. That's not usually what our agents' brains want to do. Some of us love doing it, so it's easy to jump in. I know, like we're like, oh, event, right? Like all the things, okay? But I recognize that marketing is also a thing. People hire people to do their marketing. So what if you didn't have to do any of that? Okay, just plug and play.
You know, the other thing too, when you're sitting in someone else's house, and just something that I do, is I always go off the Concord report. And I pick the top 4, like right now, Chandler, just go, I don't know, 4. And then I look for pockets that have a bunch of other houses for sale. It's 90% of the time, everyone's gonna be doing an open house and it's just gonna flood with people. So I always look for that.
Oh, so you're almost tag teaming along,
Yeah, right
the
now.
subdivisions around you to pick up their,
Oh, yeah.
thing. Brilliant.
I always do the,
I just joking. That's brilliant though. Like again, what events are happening in the area?
Yeah.
You can easily search who's doing open houses.
works
within
every
them.
time.
Yeah, that makes sense, because then you're capitalizing off of all their, I don't want to say hard work, but just traffic that they're building. Because we don't know.
Set everything up.
This
You don't wanna
is
sit
hard.
there with nothing.
Yeah, what we just discussed today, if you guys did that every time and mastered that, right, that's hard work. Because it's a lot, right? Like just showing up to an open house and put some signs out and having an MLS sheet, and lucky if you've got a flyer, it's not work.
Crying about you and buy a Mack truck.
Because we're frogging it out there.
What's the ETA on Kelly's box?
Now that I understand what's in the box, I'm probably just gonna order like 10 of the basic boxes. What we're then going to do, because I've been waiting to see this, because if you guys know.
I guess maybe the question I had too is if I order a box, can be customized, say if I get a listing tomorrow.
So that's what I was just gonna talk about. So
Great.
that's all the basic stuff, and that's why I wanted to see what was in there to see what I needed to have for Morph. Because what you guys, most of you know, is I've been working really hard with Magnus to have really consistent, strong KW branding that you guys can have all your branding attached to for our listings, our farming, our open houses and stuff like that. So essentially, those pieces will probably look a little bit more like these ones. Okay, because this is a new branding that we're working with, so that all our transactional pipeline is consistent. So I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be about a week for the turnaround on a customized box. For this, I can literally say, hey, can you please drop off 10, 20 of these? I might actually ask for 20. And you guys can at least get started and starting to use them on the plug and plays, right? Like, this is a great box to have in that, maybe I'll just do that, is put that together in the little bins. Right? And then you guys can just, if you guys have specialty stuff, you can do it. If not, you essentially have everything you need to execute your open house weekend. Deal? Okay. Trying to make it easier for you guys.
Yeah.
Let the people that love to do that for you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You guys just need to go out there and do the activities and get the business, right? Because that's gonna put food on your table. Okay? So we're doing this for free because I can't buy all this foods and snacks and stuff all the time, so we're just asking for that, you guys to help participate in that. Rest of it's all here
20 is pretty
because,
cheap.
huh?
20 is pretty cheap.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah. We
Yeah.
did one trip to Walmart or something,
Yeah.
and lunch
I
stuff.
put $20 for like a 15 pack of those little chips, so.
Yeah, yeah. it's a-
That's what I'm saying. So if you get like,
We're talking about luggage things at midnight.
yeah,
And you don't have to go and get it either. That's.
no, and that's the thing, is you're not having to go to the store. You just slide in the office. You already have to come here for something or another before an open house, chances are. Unless you're fully set up at home and that's your jam, good for you. Still find a way to come into the office and see me. Deal?